hopefully this will hide my heavy breathing, because that's always been an issue whenever I try to talk. Oh, I see a face.
Okay, good. Good. We're not running an ad yet. So, hello. Obviously, B is here.
Me.
And
Me.
I'll move that. You can see my office, which is an absolute mess right now.
It's fine.
As per
I
usual.
can see your carpet. That's like, that's amazing. I wish I could see my carpet.
That's the one spot that the carpet is visible. There up to the chair. Everything else is computer parts and electronics and paperwork. So, anyway.
That's what an office should be, right? You know? Staplers.
Yeah, but not quite in this state.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see, is my chair adjusted? Nope. Cool. We are going to start by taking the camera and tilting it straight down.
Okay. Wow, that's a little tag. Just now the tilt down has happened in the feed.
Okay.
Look at all your snazzy shit. Oh my god, everything glows.
Yeah, I've got the keyboard and my mouse.
That mouse is changing colors.
Uh-huh. It's nice. And the keyboard I custom painted myself. Took everything apart, cleaned it up when I first got it. It was a good deal. It was at a thrift store for like $5. And
Wow.
yeah. Pretty nice. Except whoever used it was the literal hardcore slob type gamer. The paint was all worn off over here. And it was kind of crunchy, so I opened it up, and there were...
You found some Cheeto dust between the keys?
I found full sunflower hulls.
Oh, wow!
So yeah, took it out, cleaned everything out, literally like popped all the keys in soapy water to let them soak. And while it was apart, it was like, you know what? The paint job's garbage anyway, because, you know, this dude trashed it. I have some of my paint. Let's just throw that on there. So I did, and yeah.
Looks nice. I'm really honestly surprised it's not, you know, acid green, but I guess not everything could be acid green, right?
It's pretty close. It's hard to tell with the lighting. It looks more yellow here, but it's
it's like a pastel kind of.
It's a sort of chartreuse. I'm gonna need to disconnect the mouse anyway, so I'm gonna put that there.
Well, the LEDs are blue, but I guess you can't really. Sure, you could if you would, though, right?
I don't know, the lighting still makes it hard to see. I don't know if it looks any more green to you. But
It's fine. I can kind of tell now that I'm looking at it. At first I thought it was white, but the lighting was making it cream colored. But now I can see the tint of green.
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to it. But yeah, it's a really nice keyboard. You know, what a good find. I think you were the one that turned me on to him, but LGR thrift finds are like one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube, and he finds some really, he finds stuff that he loves, obviously, but you know, it's definitely showing that you can find all sorts of, you know, stuff that for a good price at those places. Yeah.
Especially if you're looking. I was going for just a nice a USB keyboard that had external, you know, plugs, and that's when I noticed that it had the little, you know, keys on the side. The camera is having some serious issues focusing. That's weird. And I was like, oh, there's a gamer keyboard. So I started looking it up, and this is normally like a $200 keyboard. So
wow.
It was like,
Holy fuck.
Well, because all the keys here are programmable. You can, you know, at least it was $200 when it first came out. What it's worth now, fucking who knows. But
I think the best thrift store find I got was a PSP game, new sealed, and I got it for like $5.
Oh, so, wow, that's surprising.
It's a Final Fantasy Tactics game. I gotta find my PSP and its charge thing though, so that's another battle for another day though.
So the first thing is, and of course you're going to see it in a moment. I'm going to turn it around for the camera here. This is the motherboard that I got. I'm not specifically somebody that's brand loyal. Most of the time I think that concept is silly. But there are a few things that I do notice a difference in quality. And Asus is one of the motherboards and laptop manufacturers that I've had really good luck with. The other one is MSI, a little cheaper, although the quality isn't that much lower, but Asus usually has a bunch of little goodies in it that you won't get. Another big name is Gigabyte, but I've had bad luck with them, so I don't really I don't trust them as much anymore. Huh?
Yeah, I think Asus is the motherboard that you recommended to me.
Yeah.
I heard good things about them before that, but yeah, I mean, it's like as far as the brand loyalty thing, it's stupid. But sometimes you have some companies make good things, like a good thing in a certain area, and then another company would make a different thing in another area. So that's why, custom PC build, you get all the best things from all the companies that do them the best. So. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. If you've heard me talk about processors before, you know that, there's really only Intel and AMD, and I really prefer AMD because of price point and reliability. But as far as video cards go, there's still only two types of chips that are used in video cards. NVIDIA cards are Intel's, and ATIs are AMD cards. And as much as I like AMD processors, I prefer Intel or NVIDIA video cards.
I think I have the reverse of that. I have an Intel processor and then an NVIDIA.
Yeah. Although I will say, as far as video cards go, you tend to have each of them has their own benefits. NVIDIA, to me, tends to have more of what I refer to as raw power, and ATI tends to have better support for multiple video outputs. But they're both reaching the point where they're handling things pretty well.
Well, that's good. Just trial and error, I guess. Just heads up, if you hear crinkly noises in my background, those are my shitties.
Okay.
They kind of do what they want, and right now they're playing in the bag on my bed, so...
Not a problem.
That's them.
Besides being an Asus motherboard, the reason I went with this motherboard in particular was because of one of my clients. They wanted a computer built. They gave me some new requirements at the last minute after I had ordered this. So I was
you told me about that. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to keep this one. I'll order you guys a new one. There's not going to be any exchange fee or anything. Because this, it's a decent motherboard. There's a couple of things I might have got a little different on it, but in the end it doesn't really matter.
Did they still technically pay for that?
For this one?
Yeah.
No, the money I put it went towards their motherboard, the one in their system, and I just kept this one. So that's why. It wasn't worth the time or trouble for me to try and send this one back and get most of my money back to try and buy the one that I really wanted, when this has pretty much everything I'm looking for. There is one little caveat here, which if it doesn't work, then I will have to send it back, or I'll just hang on to it and put it in another person's system, because I can afford to do that right now, and again, it would just be less trouble. And that is the position of the PCI slots here. It's a little hard to see at that angle, but if you look, the PCI slots are a little bit higher. They come up a little bit more than the PCIe slots. And because this is where my video card goes, if it's kind of a fat video card, if it comes down right next to it, it might hit that and might not sit all the way. So if that's what it comes down to, then I can't, then this is useless. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Besides that, I like the fact that it has, the PCI slots, even the just standard PCI slots, so if I have to use an older card, I can.
How many I'm still learning like stuff.
Yeah.
So those two little, so I guess they would be perpendicular to everything else. Those are the RAM slots, right? Is there
These?
I'm waiting for you to.
Sorry.
It's okay. Oh, did the video freeze on me? Oh no. Okay, yes. Those are the RAM slots, right?
Yes. Although there are not 2, there are 4.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking like if there's like just sectioned off, like.
Yeah.
Because I have 4 too, but they're all in a row. But you mentioned that my motherboard is teeny tiny compared to. So
yeah.
I guess they just.
Your motherboard stops like there.
Mm-hmm. If the video. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you hold your hand so perfectly still, I can't tell if the video.
Oh, sorry.
Froze or not.
Yeah. Well, it's shown up on my end.
Oh,
hello, Potato.
Potato. This is B, by the way. That's me.
Yes, Potato. Are you picking up B on the stream? I hope.
Oh yeah. I have it on mute, so I can't hear. The me in 3 minutes in the future. It's about like 30 seconds maybe now.
And my volume on my speakers is pretty quiet, so if you cannot hear B, then let me know and I will turn up the volume. That is totally fine. I just didn't want to go and blow the mic out of the water right off the bat.
I'm a very loud talker too, so you gotta account for that.
So just above the PCI slots, you have this little. It's tiny. It's a little slot. It looks like an add-in card slot, and this is actually a spot for a hard drive, a solid-state drive.
Oh.
Now that is going to be my primary hard drive, the one that holds my operating system and a few programs. And when it comes in, that's one of the things I don't have right now. When it comes in, it's just going to click in there, and you bolt it down, and that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really easy.
Of course, these are your SATA ports, as well as these two, and that's what connects all the rest of your drives.
Yes.
Blu-ray drive and your hard drives, or whatever the hell else.
Storage or how to run things on stuff, yes.
And then these are all your connection, I guess what you'd call headers. Over here, these are all the things that connect to your or most of the things for your front panel. Your power button, your reset button, your LEDs to tell when your system is running and not. This little slot is your USB 3.0, and then next to it you have 2 USB connectors. Then after that, a communication port, which varies. Most of the time it isn't even used unless you have a special need. And then you have your SPDIF, which is a type of audio, I believe, which normally isn't used on your main case. You would usually use the one right next to it, which is your standard headphone microphone jack. And those are all going to be connected later as I'm hooking everything into the tower. The big socket here is, of course, where the processor goes, and the heatsink is going to fit on top of it in one of several different ways, which I'm going to need to find out before I do anything, because it may require me to pull certain things off the motherboard. And the last thing I want to do is have my motherboard already mounted in the case when I have to yank that shit out. Oh, and before we go any further, as I was telling you, B.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Potato. Potato can hear you fine, if that wasn't already obvious in the chat.
Well, we got to be sure. I mean, potatoes have eyes, but do they have ears?
As I was discussing with you, B, rule number 1 is you want to get your drink out of your workspace.
Ah.
So I'm going to set that there for a moment. Grab my cooling fan. Crunch.
I can't. I've definitely spelled my drinks on keyboards before, so
The keyboards are
Oh,
bad, but
gotcha.
if it goes on your motherboard, fuck it, you're done.
You basically have a piece of metal with a little bit. That's kind of it now.
Yeah.
Have you ever done something like? I mean, I can't imagine you have. You're super careful all the time, but I guess have you heard horror stories of people spilling their drinks all over stuff?
Yeah. In fact, just this past week, I had a client who he's in town getting trained for working at some of the wind farms around the country. And really, no instructions in there. They're all in the back of the box, I guess.
Like ramen. It's like a thing of ramen.
It looks like this one just has a pressure clip onto the motherboard, which it has each side of the socket has these little plastic clips. Let me get a little closer for you there. Come on.
And this is the fan that goes up above your processor, right?
Yeah, it literally attaches to the processor, and you need what's called thermal paste, which there's a little bit that comes with it in this almost like a sauce packet.
Enough, right?
Huh?
Okay. But they never give you no. That's why you told me that I probably should get some, right?
Well, no. It's not a matter of getting enough. When you break down your system, you're going to need to move your processor, and before you can move your processor, you're going to need to disconnect your heatsink. And if you have never removed it before, chances are that thermal compound is going to be all dried up and crusty. So you're going to want to get some rubbing alcohol and some paper towels. You're going to want to very carefully clean it from the top of your processor and the bottom of your heatsink. Make it all... You okay?
I'm fine. Guess what? You guys, why? Oh, I can't. There's a box of shit on my bed, and
Well, just as long as you aren't,
I'm fine.
crashing
I'm sitting
down
on
or
my
something.
computer, and then I hear it turn around. Oh, look at that! A mini disaster. How great! Awesome.
So yeah, this is going to clip right onto those plastic holsters. But for you, your stuff is going to be dried up, so you're going to need to replace it, which is actually good, because over time, your thermal compound... hello, I am very average. I built my first PC. Oh, yeah, not removing the plastic fitting from your no, that would be a bad time.
Oh. So
So
I had my PC custom built by I outsourced some locals in my area, but a couple years ago, the fan on my video card started making noise and it was driving me nuts. And no matter how I fidgeted with it, it didn't stop. And I basically look around like, I have 3 other fans in my tower. I can stop this one. And I basically put like a paper clip in it to keep the fan from spinning. My whole PC just shut down in 30 minutes. My video card was sweltering, and I couldn't turn it back on. But basically I had to completely plug out the power and plug it back in to make it work again. Yeah.
Oh. So
that was fun.
you went and you literally it didn't just overheat, it short circuited. If you had to unplug it, if you unplug it, then if you have to unplug it to get it to work, that means you got it overvolted.
Oh wow! But from stopping the fan, I thought it just got too hot.
Well, if unplugging it is what did it, it could just be that it would not boot up until it cooled down sufficiently.
Okay.
But
no,
yeah.
I had to physically unplug the power cable and then plug it back in for it to
and if
respond.
If that's the case, then it may be that it was it overvolted somehow.
Okay, hang on a second. I'm gonna be the disapproving parent my kid is for a second.
Okay.
Guys. Oh no. For you. That's a no. Get out of here.
Okay, well, I guess it's not really gonna matter. Shouldn't it? Oh, okay, well, that'll just be a matter. I don't quite like that fitting. Oh no, it's relatively strong. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work well enough. Okay. So we'll just start with that. Where's my little screwdriver kit? Here we are.
Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Alright, so right now you are putting your fan together.
Since I already have it out, I'm gonna put the bracket on it. Actually, no, I'm not. I am not, because the way I mount it is going to depend on how the air is moving through it. Well, I can just count on it moving through the way it's going to. One of the reasons I chose this particular heat sink. This is an aftermarket heat sink. I like it because the fans on it allow air to move instead of just blowing straight down into the sides, which is the way that most heat sinks work. This one passes it straight through. That allows it to carry heat away faster. And the heat sink is like a radiator. It has all these little aluminum fins in it, and then these copper, what they refer to as heat pipes. And you can get them in different sets from 4 to 8. So I got one that has the full 8 heat pipes on it. And specifically, one, as you can see, the fan is held on by these little metal bracket springs. I don't know what you want to call them. Spring clips. I specifically got a fan that would allow me to equip another, or a heat sink that would allow me to equip another fan on the other side. So it's pushing and pulling at the same time to get more airflow through there. The more airflow you can get through your heat sink, the cooler your system is going to run, therefore the better performance.
I'm just, like, I have the guts of my PC open, and I noticed that I kind of want to do some processors just come with their own heat sinks.
Yes, most do.
So most do. Okay, so Intel, I have an Intel processor, and I see the heat sink, and it actually has those. I don't see anything piping like yours does, but I do see like metal fan, like those metal fins that you talked about. But mine kind of go in a circle instead of like horizontal like yours.
Huh. Depends on what type they use. There are several different formats. Some of them are crazy looking, but I like this type of design. I've seen ones that are basically they almost look like a little jet engine in there, but this as cool as it looked, it wasn't that efficient. So I have a box of fans here. Come on you. So much for a nice, smooth reveal. They're all tangled together. Okay, so these are supposed to light up orange. And as you know, I like green, but I wanted to get a little bit of variance to my system and not have everything just green. So I thought orange would be a nice sort of counter color to it, just for the heat sink. Just putting that on the inside is sort of like, you know, the heart of the machine. So that's what I'm going to do. And if these are the right size, it looks like they are.
I think purple would have been a good choice, but orange is a color. Nah.
Our airflow is going that way. So it's going to be coming up from here.
Oh, like a sandwich.
What?
Like a fan sandwich.
Yeah. One is it's pushing and pulling air. One is blowing, the other is sucking, and because of that, it moves everything through much more quickly. If it just blows, you're going to have air going through, but some of it's going to come out the sides, just because of air resistance with the heat pipes and such.
So you need something like with a vacuum kind of thing.
And if you put one on the back, but not on the front, it's going to pull air in mostly through, but also somewhat from the sides. You get both of them going at the same time, much more efficient.
Okay.
It would be nice if they put some sort of marker on here. Most fans have little arrows drawn on them somewhere to tell you which way the air is going to move. The general rule of thumb is it's going to move towards the side that has the little plate on it, and from the side that is totally free spinning.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm paranoid, so I always try and look for something. Are all the fans... Oh, do all the fans come in a standard size? No, they do not. You need to double check everything before you order fans for your system. I went and looked up what type of fans fit on this and what type of fans fit in my case, and I made sure that all of them were going to be compatible. But you can get them down to like little, type fans to fans. And I was lucky because, well, everything in my case and my heatsink used the same size. I keep getting distracted because I'm talking.
No, that's that's fine. That's interesting. Has there been times where you order something and you got the wrong size and you had to send it back or something? Is that like a common thing that happens a lot?
I do my homework, so not so much.
Okay.
Some other
so sellers make it pretty clear, like as far as or it's something that you can definitely do without having to trial and error.
Yes, usually. There have been some instances where something isn't quite working, and when that happens, I basically contact my seller and or my distributor, and I'll tell them, like, listen guys, we have a problem here. Can you
spaghetti is.
And they'll most of the time they're happy to talk to me and, help me through it or whatever. Man, it just doesn't seem like it's the clips are long enough. I must be doing something wrong here. Well, they have to be long enough. There's no way they couldn't be long enough.
Unless they made them too short. I don't know.
The same thickness. You know what? This one has little rubber pads on it. Or duh. I'm trying to hook it from the top. I'm doing it the wrong way. Oh, you know what? These may have problem. Actually. If so, that's a bit of a bummer, but yeah.
We figured it out, or you figured it out?
Well, I figured out the problem.
Oh.
It's
is
not,
is it a avoidable problem?
No. Because what's happened here, and why some people do this, and, well, most of the time it doesn't matter, if I'm going to be fair. If you notice, this fan has a gap through here, and these, they don't. And the way that these spring clips work, they fit onto that into that gap. They don't go straight onto the top.
Okay.
So, in order to make this work, I'm either going to need to order different fans or cut part of that out.
Since we're doing this tonight, are you going to try to cut it?
No.
Or... Nope?
No.
Okay.
Because putting the fans on is not going to be super hard.
Okay.
Because they have the spring clips, I can literally just, keep the thing mounted on my motherboard, just pull it off, and it won't be a huge deal.
Alright.
So those are going back in the box.
So fan gets a little postponed, but...
Well, no, I'm still gonna... The fan still needs to go on there. It definitely has to be done. I'm just gonna start using the one that came with it and swap them out later.
Upgrade it later. Okay.
Yep. There are a few things I'm gonna be doing with that. Like I said, the hard drive, the main hard drive is not in yet. Pardon me. So what I'm going to be doing is, once I get everything together, or most of it together, I'm going to turn off my computer, the one that I'm using to stream right now, and I'm going to pull most of the hard drives out and just stick them in the new one, and use them like that until the new hard drive arrives.
You mentioned, because sorry, go ahead.
Maybe. Actually, now that I think about it, I have a few things I'm going to need to play around with that. And the hard drive is arriving Tuesday. Maybe it won't matter. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But my point is, I'm going to... because of the way I'm doing this, it's going to be in several steps.
Oh, Potato's asking why don't the fan come with its own spring clip that fits to it?
The fan is a universal fan for wherever you need it in the computer. And because the heat sinks are different sizes, the spring clips that come... The spring clips are made for this heat sink. So it's not a matter of the fan coming with its own clips. It's a matter of the heat sink needing to have the proper clips that work with it. I hope that makes sense.
Okay. So you said... Okay, so you basically said that what you're going to do here is... Once you have everything mostly built, you're going to take the hard drives from the computer you're using now and just switch it over to your new one. I remember asking you that because with Windows 7 and all that, since Windows 7, you don't have to reinstall any of those operating systems, right?
Correct.
That's what you said.
Correct.
Yes.
I am, once I get the new hard drive, I will be giving it a fresh install because I'll have to. When, if you're getting a new hard drive, then that's a different story, but when I'm just moving them from one system to the next, it won't really need that. It will probably need the updated drivers for the motherboard, but that's no big deal. I just use the disk that came with it, and then that's that. And that's the way it's going to go with most of my other drives. I have new hard drives. When everything is said and done, my system will have a total of 4 hard drives in it. It will have the solid state, which is the main operating system. It's going to have the storage, which is what I use to hold backups of things for my clients and my business paperwork, and just
like a business hard drive.
Yeah, basically. A few other things that get done with that. I will have my large programs hard drive, which is the one that I use to hold Steam, as well as most of my games and any other applications that take up huge amounts of memory.
Fun stuff.
And finally, what I call the data warehouse, which is
Storage.
My personal storage. Music, books, porn, whatever.
Waiting for you to say that.
It's a thing. People do it.
Alex,
I'm not going to dance around it. All right,
Alex's personal hard drive. Do not open.
Yeah. So I'm going to set this over here for now. And we're going to pack this back up in the box. I set the electrostatic bag down somewhere. I don't want to find it, and I'm going to pull it right back out in a few minutes, so no big deal. Next thing we'll be going on to is the case. Hold on.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at this snazzy case. Or is it snazzy?
It's relatively nice. I wanted to, of course, try and get something in green, but all the ones they had didn't have what I was looking for.
So you settled on...
Well, I wouldn't say I settled. Because, as I've already covered with my keyboard, I know... Whoops. Let's not break the new chair, Alex. Come on. I got this one. It's made by Rosewill. Has a pretty standard setup on the back. It's kind of tall, so trying to get it close enough to the camera to show off without bumping it into my screen is difficult.
Oh, that looks kind of on the smaller side.
It really isn't.
Okay.
The front of the case is all mesh. It has... No, I'm on the wrong side. 4 USB ports, 2 3.0 and 2 standard. It has the thumb screws on the sides, which I like because then whenever I have to work on something, I just pop the sides off and that's that. Nice comment, Potato. Yes. Like I said, so many people dance around the issue. I'm just going to own it. My stream is listed as for mature audiences, so you know.
Yes.
Now this
Internet is for porn.
This is the back side. The motherboard's going to go up under it inside. This is just to help mount drives and such. Also a little bit of like managing wires and whatnot. That side panel is going to stay off. And what I'm removing right now is the main access panel. Come on. That one is also going to stay off. And this is... Oh, the speaker is in the way. Come on now. Can I move it just a little bit? Yes, there we go. And you're saying it looks tiny. No, the thing barely fits in the shot. It's like butting up against my screen. It's taking up almost my whole desk, so...
Okay, yeah, no, it's like... When I first saw my tower, I thought, oh crap, it's gargantuan. But then again, my PC that I had before that was a Pavilion, so I think naturally it's gonna seem big. But yeah, mine. Because I'm like comparing your stuff to what I'm looking at with my guts and all that. And I see that kind of that sort of in between panel that kind of houses the wires and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to think.
I've taken off the two side panels, like I said. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the front faceplate here. And the reason for this, oh, there we go. This one actually pops off all nice and clean. Set the main case down there for a moment. This one, as you can see, the faceplate comes off entirely. Some of them, like all the ports are mounted in here, which is a pain in the ass. This one pops off completely. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking those two side panels, I'm going to be painting them green. And I'm going to be breaking this down into certain components, and I'm going to be painting those green as well. So I'm going to get that nice two-tone color to my computer, and I didn't have to sacrifice any of what I'm looking for. Now it's a little hard to see in here, but maybe if I
I'm
pop
totally
out...
on board with that concept of, self-customization. If it's not to your standards, then just, tweak it yourself.
With a little bit of effort and some ingenuity, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish.
Totally.
So, the entirety of the front of the system is made out of this wire mesh stuff.
Yeah,
which means you've got
something like that.
which means you've got plenty of airflow. But the thing that's even more important is the back side of this wire mesh has this little foamy stuff.
Oh.
If I can...
Is that to help with dust or something like that?
It acts like a dust filter. It catches more dust in the front of it instead of getting it in your fans. So then when you blow it out, I could even, when it's time to clean the front, the one I have now, the faceplate has a bunch of screws on it and just a bunch of crap. Not to mention very few spaces for airflow and for dust filters. This one I could literally just take the entire thing, yank it out, get my air compressor, blow it out, and then it's all clean again. Which... That's actually a big thing for me, is whenever you're running maintenance on a system, you should blow the dust out of your system absolutely once a year. 6 months would be good. If you're in an environment where you get more dust or hair, I know you have your shitties in your room there. Cat and dog hair also builds up quickly, but you want to keep that out because heat kills machines. That is one of the biggest things that I keep having to reiterate to clients when they're going, well, it was working fine. Didn't you take care of it just like a year ago? And I'm going, have you blown it out since then? No. Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's your problem. So the faceplate is going to also sit off to the side for now. The first thing I'm going to do, if I can remember where I put my screwdriver, there we are. Not my itty bitty one that I used for the screws on the heatsink, but my larger size screwdriver. You know what? That's probably going to get annoying to you really fast, so I'm going to take those screws out of the handle.
There we go.
And set them elsewhere.
My mic quit working, and I had to unplug it and replug it.
Oh, that's fine.
I wanted to ask you, so I have this side panel. I told you this before, and you said it was okay. But I have this side panel of my PC completely off because, like I mentioned, I had to fiddle with the fan in order to make it stop the buzzy noise. And I was worried that it's just going to get more dust. But because it's always open, I can just take a can spray and just clean it out every so often. Is that still an okay thing to leave it open like that all the time?
It depends on the build of your system. Some of them are better than others. Where the hell is my... Okay. Oh, I kicked my trash can away.
Oh, you got some more comments.
Yes, I did. Bear with me. Let me answer your question first, and then I'll get to the chat. Leaving the side panel open, yes, you invite more dust in, but it also can allow more cooling, and because it isn't being blown directly through an enclosed track, it also allows some dust to get back out. So it's not as bad as it seems. It really depends on your system. Like, I'm going to have a fan in the front, some on the side, the one in the back here, the flow through with the main CPU, and then the power supply. So I want to keep it enclosed so everything moves through the proper way. I don't think yours has as many fans, so it doesn't matter nearly as much.
I have about 5 fans. So to me that's a lot, but maybe that's nothing compared to other things.
Sorry. Chat. Yes. Hello, DC Fiend. Nice to be joining us this evening. Hello. The True Graven. Hello. Yes, I do remember you. Looking for some nonsense to watch here. Thanks. And that's fine. If I do know some people that is for kids awesome there. I know some people that swear they get better performance with their case open, and that is one of the things that's like whatever works for you. in all honesty, for those people that leave their computers in an enclosed space, like I know some people that, even though I seriously do not recommend it, some people still want to go and stick their computer inside this little enclosed cubby under their desk.
Oh, those things, yeah. Some desks have them built in, but it's basically a heat trap.
It is, and it's bad for your system. But some people like to use it because it makes their workspace look clean.
See, I have mine on my desk.
And well, I mean, yours is fine. But my point is, for those people that leave their computer cooped up, I would actually recommend leaving their cases open and having, and this is going to sound really dumb, having as few fans running as possible. I would say the only one you would want running, if it's stored in that situation, is the one on the main processor and the video card. Because any motor, any electric component generates heat. And if the fans are just moving the air around inside the same enclosed space, you're literally generating more heat trying to move it.
They don't work like an air conditioner.
Exactly. That's what liquid cooling is for, kind of. But had a dust one once, couldn't even see the CPU. Yeah, no kidding. Yes, I've been down that road. There are a couple of clients I've gone to visit, and I have my air compressor totally filled up. By the time I'm done, like, my allergies are going off. I'm covering crap. It's a fucking nightmare.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What's your opinion about people storing them on the floor? Because the floor can get pretty messy and dusty in its own right. Do you think that floor is an okay place as long as you clean it out regularly?
It's fine as long as you're on top of it. The biggest issue is people normally aren't. They don't. I mean, like, it seems to be this odd concept that is so foreign to people. You'll change the oil in your car, but you won't dust out your computer. How you maintain your devices is totally up to you, but if it's going to be on the floor, it has to get cleaned semi-regularly. That's all there is to it.
You make the connection of something that operates in a virtual sense needs physical maintenance. I think that connection is often lost on people. Because it's like it's all on the interwebs. It's all electricity. As long as there's electricity to it, and then it's all fine there. And no, no, it's,
True Grevin has one of the computer desks. Yes, those are cool. And I am not willing to put that much effort into a computer. If I want to take it somewhere and share it with a friend. Oh, now this one, this is a front case fan.
Party's hard.
Yeah, it does. It makes it very difficult unless I decide I want to go and ship my desk.
Unless you don't you're shut and you don't have any friends, then who cares about that stuff, right?
Yeah. But on the floor, actually, as long as static air. Oh yeah, no, actually, that's.
Oh, you mean like when the air gets dry?
Yeah,
and all that
static charge in the air. That's actually one of the things that I'm going to be getting to next here. The power supply. But finishing up with your question, like, where's the optimal place to put a computer? For me, I say somewhere. Let's not break that bottle. Come on now. Somewhere around desk height. I keep mine off my desk. I have a.
But you have a platform still. You put it on.
Yeah, it sounds silly. Like, if you want to put a shelf up and put your computer on there, but that's literally your best. Best of both worlds. If you mount your computer really high, heat is going to go up, and if you do not live somewhere that is very cold, you're going to have a bad time. And if you put it on the floor, it's going to stay cool, but it's going to get crap in it all the time. And having it somewhere around chest level or head height when you're sitting. Definitely, when you're standing, that's about fine.
Mm-hmm. So this is the main. This is the power. The main power.
Yes. This is the power supply.
Mm-hmm.
I went with a 1,000-watt power supply. Most of the components in computers nowadays, you don't need anywhere near this much power.
Mine says 500, so is that usually the standard?
That's become the standard. I would say for me that's a minimum. If I build a computer, I'm going to go 600 to 700, depending on what's going in there and what level of reliability people want. Mm-hmm. Oh, very nice, Griffin. Well, you want some way to access your parts, yes. The power supply is it's labeled as a power supply, but it's really more of a power regulator. It is designed to handle, a workload up to that amount. I've had people go like, do I really need that much more power in my system? Won't that burn it out? I'm going, no. It doesn't work like that. You're okay.
It's not watts. It's like a tree branch almost. Is that a good analogy?
It isn't like. Well, it is watts. It's designed to handle a load up to a certain amount of watts. But that isn't how much it outputs. That's how much it regulates. It's like... it's like a chair. A chair is designed for somebody to sit on it up to a certain weight. And if you have somebody that's too heavy, they'll break the chair. So how much weight is it designed to handle? Don't know. Do you really need a giant mastodontic, lazy boy type chair if you're setting a toddler in it? No, you don't. But I can guarantee that the toddler is not going to collapse the chair. And it will help in any sort of a situation that has potential overvoltage. Oh, holy shit. Yeah, no, actually I'm not surprised. Kid Awesome, how many people don't clear out their drives. There was a client of mine at one point, they found some drives lying around in a parking lot. They gave them to me, said, you might be able to use them. They were from a fucking bank!
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like clear as in delete the stuff that's on them?
Yeah!
Criminy. So you had all these confidential information? Wow.
So much trouble I could have caused.
Wow. And you hear every so often you hear in the news, Sony or whatever company lost a bunch of information, and if that's like the mentality a lot of these places have, it's
okay.
those are they claim hackers, but honestly, there's a good chance that they didn't up the security as high as they should have.
Yeah, it's like
if passwords the same.
Yeah, if one person doesn't do their fucking job, then the entire thing goes to pieces. Okay, so the reason I'm putting in the power supply now, try to bring this in frame a little more. There we go. The reason I'm putting the power supply in now, in fact, let's raise this just a little bit since I'm having to practically butt it up against the screen. Well, as DC Fiend said in Before Lightning Strike, yes, we literally have a power pole in our backyard with a huge fucking transformer on it. So if that thing gets struck, everything in the house is toast if it's plugged in.
Oh Christ! I actually saw that happen once. I was driving. Yeah, sorry if I'm changing the subject here.
It's okay. Well, the point was, if there's a bad thunderstorm going on, I literally just go through the house and unplug anything that could be damaged. because it's not worth having it, get fried by accident. And just in case something goes squirrely, the number one thing I'm protecting is my tower. And if something happens, whether it be a freak power surge or whatnot, because it is, the line, like literally just power line, transformer, house.
You plug, because there's those outlet things that say that they're surge protector. Would that help, or do you still recommend unplugging everything?
Well, I have a battery backup, and then I have several surge protectors going to different parts of my office. So it's pretty well defended, and the last sort of line of defense is the power supply here. Having a 1,000-watt power supply increases the chances that my system will survive if there is some sort of a devastating lightning strike. It's a little overkill for most people. It's never a bad idea. But in my case, it's definitely something I need.
Little extra protection, can completely save you at one point. So
40 backup keyboards. Yes, Kid Awesome. I am pretty much in the same ballpark there. And as far as Potato saying that the only way to stop data from being recovered is to destroy the drive, that is actually not true. You can delete the data, and then you can go and dump it from the recycle bin, and it can be recovered after that. But you do have what are called drive shredders. These are programs that go and overwrite the data on the drive with basically garbage, so there is nothing retrievable.
wow.
But yeah, if you have sensitive data on a drive and you don't want anybody getting a hold of that, then you either need to go and digitally burn it, so to speak, or physically burn it. Alright, so the reason I put the power supply in first is because once the motherboard is in, if I try and put the power supply in, the last thing I want to do is accidentally bump something the wrong way, knock one of those capacitors off the motherboard, and then it's fucked. Put the power supply in first, don't need to worry about that. Did that make sense? Do you follow me on that? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just... it's basically because... Sorry. because the wires and all of that, it just kind of logically makes sense to put it first. Because, it would be easier to fit things around it rather than try to wedge it in there.
Yeah. I'm going to put most of these screws back in that little Ziploc bag for now, or invariably what I'm going to do is knock them off the table and lose them. So let's pack those away.
Little dish for your desk.
Actually, if you want to dispose of a hard drive, any sort of physical destruction is good, and I would recommend taking it apart, because you get these. This is a neodymium magnet from a hard drive. Well, solid states obviously don't matter, but if you get one of the ones that still has a platter in it, they usually have these, and these are very powerful, very expensive magnets, and they are a lot of fun.
Is that why? I always thought that bringing magnets near to your computer, it's said to be a dangerous thing, but I always thought because of all the wiring and the metal things of the microchips and stuff like that would get adjusted. But is that kind of more the reason why you don't want to bring outside magnets near your computer?
Magnets can destroy hard drives. The magnetic fields can interfere with the electronics, but the biggest thing is the hard drives. They will erase the hard drives. So the question, of course, comes up: why is a magnet in a hard drive if they hurt hard drives? Well, the interesting thing is the magnet side. Let me just grab this. The magnet side is quite obviously a magnet, right? But the other side is it totally nullifies the magnetic field.
Oh. I think Wow, that's crazy.
So you have two of these, one here and then another one right on top of it, and it holds the counterweight that is the arm that goes and writes to all your disks. So you have this intense magnetic field here that the little arm hovers in between, and other than that, those metal plates go and stop any of the magnetic force from going and harming the rest of the drive.
That's crazy. So it's like a balancing act.
Yes. It needs to have that stability, because if it didn't, if there were any sort of jitter in the drive and that arm vibrated too much and touched the disc is totally fucked in that point. Having those two high strength magnetic fields goes and keeps it in perfect balance. But yeah, these magnets are really powerful, really handy. Can I?
Yeah, but put them on your refrigerator and never fear losing a picture.
Well, actually, these are powerful enough that I keep them in my toolbox as stud finders. I'll move them along a wall, and then once it finally finds a screw, I can let it go and it'll hang on the wall there.
Holy crap! That's crazy. As my brother buys a fancy tool that you shoot, like a laser gun, you shoot at the wall and it beeps if it finds a stud. Yeah.
Well, these magnets are not exactly easy to get your hands on either, so
unless you want dismantle
old hard drives.
Yeah.
So I got a Blu-ray drive. I'm going to be putting that in as my optical drive. I don't use, to be fair, optical drives very much anymore, except for burning the occasional recovery disk for a client. But
it's nice to have. It's better probably to have it when you need it.
Exactly.
Struggling to get one.
And those points where I want to watch a movie, I can just literally pop it into my system, and then that's it. I will need to double check, but I was reading that VLC actually has full Blu-ray support in its programming.
Wow.
So, yeah, cool stuff.
That's crazy.
I mean, we have a Blu-ray player. It's not like it's a big deal, but if I want to get, footage or just, chill and watch something, then...
yeah, VLC's... I remember the days where you would have to install... what's the word for them?
Codecs?
Codecs, yes. Oh, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You would have to install a separate codec in order to play them on whatever fucking media player you wanted to use. But then VLC came along. It's like, yeah, screw that. Just use this. So I mean, once in a while, there's there's a freeware version of something that's just so amazing, and it's definitely VLC in that sense. Because damn, that just made life so much easier than trying to hunt down the right codecs.
So in case it weren't obvious, this has space for 3 5 and whatever inch drives or bays, and then a bunch of little hard drive mounts. It even has screws on the very, very bottom here for just bolting a solid state drive straight to it, but as I've covered already, we're not going to be doing that. So
I'm getting the basics in.
I'm going to be... So there's going to be 3 platter style hard drives up here, Well, 4 at first when I move my old one over, if I decide to do that before the new one comes in. And actually, no, I want to wait on that one, although I am going to pop the faceplate out, so I don't need to worry about it later, because I'm going to be concerned about hurting something at that point. In fact, I probably should have done that before I put the drive in, but that's okay. We'll make it work.
So, I wanted to ask you, because you know, because you're a very careful person. You like to, you know, Alex always has a blackout plan and has, you know, backup plan for that blackout plan and all that stuff. Why is it that? Because whenever I hear about working with PCs, they always say, make sure you have a grounding bracelet, make sure you have an anti-static bracelet. That's like the one thing that everybody tries to drill in your head when you're working on PCs. So why has it come down to that where you're no longer paranoid of that? I am kind of curious about that. You just not?
Yeah, there are some people that I know that are very knowledgeable, and when I started working with them, they didn't give a shit. And,
really?
Yeah, they didn't care. And, literally, I've never had a problem. Never. Not once. Literally, not once. And they had never had a problem. And the bottom line is, as long as you, like, touch the case once in a while, because all the grounding bracelet does is connect you to the case. That's all that it does.
So let's say you ran up, you had to go to the bathroom, and your feet are dragging on your carpet, and you stopped to pet your kitty, and, you know, probably got some kind of charge, most likely going on, but all you have to do is, like, when you sit it down, before you handle anything, just touch your case. That's it.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Because that's all the grounding bracelet does, is it keeps you in a locked circuit with the case. That's it.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Alright. Oh, motherboard. Okay. Do I want to, or do I want to... Yeah, let's start putting the motherboard in next. It was either that or start putting in some of the hard drives, but the only hard drives I can put in right now are the empty ones that are going to be my storage drives, obviously not the hard drive. And even then, I still need some of my old hard drives moved over from the system, which means it limits how many new storage drives I can put in. So, we will not worry about that at the moment. I will need to see where my mounting brackets are on the hard drive, though. Oh, that was a nice sound.
Music to my ears.
Oh,
Potato asks why the drive is sticking out, or you haven't screwed it.
Oh, the drive is sticking out because the faceplate for the computer is off here, yes. If once I put it on, then it will no longer be sticking out.
Sorry.
It's okay. Now let's see here. What was I have the dumb. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Train of thought derailed.
Yep.
Train of thought derailed. Oh no. Oh no.
Fucking bridge blown up and everything.
Oh gosh.
The mounting plate. That's it. I was about to put the motherboard in, then I realized I don't have the faceplate. I think I have the faceplate. I really hope I have a faceplate. Yes, I have the faceplate. Cool. We're good. We're good. Although okay. I had a moment of panic where it's like, it looks like they didn't give me any driver discs for the motherboard. No!
Oh no!
Because that's like worst case scenario. You get the motherboard put in, and then you need to install drivers. And most of the time, like, your drivers include the stuff that lets you get online. Any other time, you could be like, oh, don't have the driver disc? That's cool. I'll just go online and download them. but that's the ultimate catch-22 where it's like, don't have the disc, can't get online, no!
Oh dear.
It just wrecks your day.
I'm having a bad day. Yeah.
You try to just shove it all in as hard as you can. There's a joke in there somewhere. Yes, I think there are several jokes in there. Oh no. That is not a good time. This is the faceplate for the motherboard. Connects into the kind of the ass of the computer here. Right here to get all nice and sealed off.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
that's cool. That part
the faceplate,
that part is kind of squished. I'm not pleased about that.
Oh.
So in this case, that is going to be one of those things where I'm trying to just bend it back into place. I'm going to cut my hands. Let's try and use some pliers to squeeze that in instead. That's the last thing you need when you're working on a computer is cut fingers. I would know. It's happened.
Well, then you could say, I made this with my blood, sweat, and tears.
Pardon me. I would prefer to leave bodily fluids out of my computer.
Well, I guess that's your choice then.
Yes, it is. Now, if
part of you will be with it forever, and then you could, give it to someone and be like, you have a piece of me.
That's actually what's going to happen with my old one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're gonna give that to someone?
Well, parts of it.
Oh.
Most of the innards, or some of the innards, motherboard, processor, those are going to my girlfriend. Oh my god, I don't know if this is going to fit.
Uh-oh.
Sorry I drug everything out of the shot. It's such a weird thing. I don't want to...
technical difficulties, please stand by.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it on the desk while I'm trying to put it on there, otherwise I'm going to either scuff up the desk or fuck up the computer case, and in either case... I do not want either situation to happen, so I'm keeping this in my lap while I try and get this to work. And yeah, even though I would not advise it, I am actually doing right now pretty close to what the True Grevin just asked if I had ever done. Just trying to make it fit. Right now this feels about as productive as trying to explain theology to a kindergartner. Generally speaking, that statement is not that statement is not aimed at all kindergartners. I'm sorry.
Am I that kindergartner? Are we talking about a hypothetical one?
A hypothetical one.
Okay.
I'm just talking about trying to get this faceplate to fit. That's all.
Ah.
This thing that was horribly bent and out of shape. And if I can't, that's fine. I mean, it looks kind of nasty just having the thing hanging off, like all the plugs just there, but it wouldn't be the first time I've done it, so. If that's what it is, then so be it. Oh, that is just dandy. It's dead now.
Uh-oh. What? The fact that disaster is happening off screen is a little concerning.
Yeah, no, it's the faceplate. I managed to shove it entirely through. So
Oh no!
it's just gonna make a short little flight right there to the trash can, and we are not gonna worry about it.
Oh my gosh, that poor faceplate didn't even have a chance.
No, it didn't. But that was not my fault. It came that way. I didn't do it.
It's fault for being born.
Well, that's the fault of Asus for whoever they contracted to make their little faceplates. If they did it themselves, guys, you disappoint me. Bad job. Okay. So now I need to figure out where these mounting screws are going to go. Cried while pissing with a cut finger. That sounds like a hell of an evening. Yeah. Never lost Yahtzee in your life. Way to go, True Grevin. I don't think I've ever properly played. Alright, so where did I... Here we are. Okay. Back of screws. Once again. Now I need to find the mounts for the motherboard. It looks like I'm going to need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And they're all cool and black and stylish. Like that matters so much because they're literally going to be under the motherboard, so I'll never see them.
Oh God.
Whatever. Alright. So these little pegs, that's all I can really think to call them. One side they have a screw, which I'm hoping you can see. It's trying to focus more on the... one side has a little screw to it. And the other side, actually, which you probably, there's no way to see it with how dark it is and everything. I'm getting a little light reflecting off of it. The other side actually has an inlet to it where you can... Will they screw back to back?
Is it like a female part to a screw? Like a...
Yeah, one end is male, one end is female. So these are little posts that literally lift the motherboard off the base of the inside of the case. Man, it is so dark in there, it's going to be hard to see with...
Do you have not a flashlight?
Yeah, but it's going to be hard to hold the flashlight and do everything at this... I mean, I can see fine. I'm talking about for the camera.
Oh, okay.
This part of the video is just going to have to suffer. Unless... Well, I might be able to do that one-handed.
I'd rather see you do it carefully and right rather than,
The knot.
The knot, yeah. Like, oh, he's shoving it in and bashing it with a hammer. I'm gonna do the same.
Don't die, controller. Don't die.
This is your new fangled controllers?
Yep. One of them.
You fancy schmancy.
Oh, shit.
That light up and sings you a song.
No, music is not included with controller.
Oh, my mistake.
Okay, I do have a flashlight here. I have a feeling all the batteries are dead in it, though.
Uh-oh. Do you have a desk? Oh, you probably don't have any desk space. For a desk lamp.
For what?
I was gonna say, do you have a desk lamp to shine in there, but you probably don't have any desk space to put a desk lamp.
And I do not have a desk lamp either, so that is lose all the way around.
Dang it.
Grab some more batteries. We'll see if these will work. If they don't, then we'll just go ahead with it. There's no point in wasting more time if it's not gonna play nice. I'll flip it over, here's to hoping, otherwise I just have a dead flashlight, which is kind of sad. I like my flashlights. Oh, there we go!
Woohoo!
Still going to be hard to see because my hands are going to be in the way, but we're trying. Flashlight. Come on now, behave. That one isn't even going in all the way. Whatever, I'll go to the next one. We'll come back to it. We will come back to it.
Oh. So these are the screws that are basically, they kind of raise up, they mount the motherboard to the case, but they kind of raise it up to it's not lying flat on the case, right?
Correct. It lifts it up because on the underside of the motherboard you have all these little metal posts, and if any of these ever touched the case, you would end up short-circuiting part of it, which won't necessarily kill the computer outright, but it would cause all sorts of issues, including not booting or destroying components.
So yeah, so it puts it in like a hovering state.
Yeah.
Where nothing other than the screws are touching it, and I guess all the wire thingies. But wire thingies are wrapped in plastic, so they're not a problem.
Yeah. A friend of mine, actually, he was, man, I wish I could remember where he got a job. It was something big. I want to say like Cisco or something. Anyway, he was like big tech guru, network manager, or whatever. And I was like, hey man, nice to know you're doing well for yourself. And we had this place that we would work together on the weekends once in a while. And he was like, yeah, I'm working on this computer for my buddy, but it's not I replaced the motherboard, but it's not working. I don't understand why it's not working, So he asked me to take a look at it. And the motherboard he put in, it was originally like a Dell. And Dell is kind of butts.
Yeah.
I do not like Dell. Sorry to anybody out there that does. You're all entitled to your own opinion. That's fine, but I do not care for them. And
every computer person who's computer savvy does not like Dell. Dude, Dell sucks.
Lining up, that one is.
I mean, Dell usually, as far as like pre-made build PCs go, Dell's usually on the cheaper end, but the reason why they're on the cheaper end is because they do cheaper Mickey stuff, right?
Yeah.
Dude, you're getting it down.
Yeah. Those commercials went over so well too when they were coming out. It was like, fantastic marketing.
As far as that, that's a very like early '90s, early 2000s type of style. I think the computer commercial that just kind of irked me the wrong way was the Mac versus the PC guys. Like, oh, I'm a PC. I wear glasses and a suit and I'm stuck up. Yeah, I'm a Mac. I'm like your cool college friend or something like that.
Yeah,
remember those?
Yeah, basically.
Those just pissed me off. Like, really Mac? Well, while in the true irony of things, people who are Mac fans tend to follow the line of being more of the more of the what they were trying to make the PC stereotype guy out of. If there's anything wrong with Macs, the Macs technically are better than Dells, I guess.
Yeah, I think I would say that Macs are better than Dells.
Yes.
But
I mean, it's kind of comparing apples to oranges, but the apple is rotten and festering with worms. Let's just say. Sorry if I'm distracting you.
It's okay. I'm a little frustrated with these screws. They're not fitting into the screw holes that well. So I'm going to, instead of going and scratching at my case, I'm going to try doing something else, which is probably going to be a big pain in the ass too, but we'll make it work.
Alright. DC Fiend says, anyone born before the year 1980 likes Dell, and that's the exact reason, because they're cheap asses.
That's
probably
kind of what it boils down to from my experience. They just cut corners, cut money, and then they wonder why their computer needs to be replaced in 2 years, and why it doesn't have any options for upgrades. And I tried to tell people this, that if you were to just get a decent system in the first place, one that has space for upgrades, or that is so ridiculously overpowered, has so much stuff you don't need then, that it wouldn't even be a fucking issue, but...
I mean, like, comparing to my parents and things like that, it's when, computers and all this technology just kind of came out of fucking nowhere, and I'm sure, like, when it comes down to what they want to use it for, they just basically Netflix and card games.
Well, that's fine.
That's pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's fine, but that's pretty much all the only kind of thing they, kind of performance they expect out of their computers.
Yeah, but as time goes on, you need more power to just do simple things. There are things that used to be, somebody'd say, oh, I just want to use this to go online, check email. All right, fine. And those systems, nowadays, they will not even run that, because just going online to check Yahoo Mail requires more power than what those systems are capable of.
Well, and batteries, so, I mean, it was recently announced that with iPhones and as far as that, they apparently, whenever they update older phones, they purposely make them run slower, and people read it, and I'm sure there's definitely, like, that reason why people read it as them trying to encourage people to buy new products. And I'm sure there's a, like, I mean, it's Apple. I'm sure there's a little bit of hope coming from that. But they also give off the reason where, they do it in order, because when batteries age, they can overheat or something like that. I don't know the exact technical stuff, but they purposely slow down older phones in order to
conserve
make the battery. Yeah, for the sake of the battery. And once they take their old phone and replace the battery in it, then they go back to their normal speed. So,
that I would call bullshit on.
Oh, really?
Because I have replaced batteries in phones before, and it has not made a damn bit of difference. Now, maybe there is some sort of magic, that reset switch that they use in the Genius Bar, or whatever the hell it's called. But, replacing the battery will not immediately pick its speed back up.
Really?
Not only that, there are points where, like, if you have an iPhone that is, like, 3 steps or 2 steps behind the latest, and then they come out with a new one that puts it 3 steps behind, suddenly your power just drops in half.
Oh, wow.
And it's right after the release date. And this is not just me talking. I don't really care for Apple. A friend of mine who is a big fan of Apple as far as phones go anyway. Computers, no. But as far as phones, yeah. He's always bugging me, dude, you can't do this. Well, you should get an iPhone. And I'm going, no, I don't fucking want something that, makes me, like, sign over my loyalty to them. Even he was complaining about it and how he was fucking pissed that, like, they're just going to try and nab more money.
They're trying to push people to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I had doubts as far as if that was the only reason, because I didn't know the technical, if that's a legitimate reason to slow a phone down or not. But it's, I mean, it was pretty suspicious. And plus, Apple has that reputation already. Yeah, I like iPhones because I just like the internet. Because I had an iPod, and the interface just makes sense to me. And Android, I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't really have the patience to learn how to use an Android, so I just stick with iPhone just for that sake. Otherwise, it works as a phone, I guess. So
it's I don't know. There's I will say there are a few things that Apple has done that I'm proud of them for. The biggest thing being the whole, like, user privacy as far as encryption goes. Like, good on them.
How they refused to work with the FBI as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole thing behind encryption is, like, that's why you fucking have it, is for privacy. If you put some sort of a back door in there so, somebody can get in, then all you're doing is, like, negating the whole, it doesn't fucking matter.
And the FBI would totally abuse that if they had that ability.
Well, it's more than the FBI. The thing is, once you get a back door programmed into something like that, once somebody finds out what that little magic word is, then they can get into anything, right?
Yeah.
That's where the bigger issue comes in. I mean, like, you have personal privacy, you have doing the right thing, then you have, like, making it to where nobody's information is secure anymore, and that's the bigger problem with that.
So DC Fiend says Apple is a money grab. They don't care about performance in a mindset. They want end dollar.
Yes, 100%. If you want to get an Apple device repaired, if it's still under their warranty or under their Apple Care, then they are totally fine with it. They'll handle it, whatever, no big deal. But if it is not, then they want to charge you an insane amount of money to get your phone or computer worked on. And at this particular shop in LA, because I think the rates are going to vary a little bit based on location and, like, what somebody's income can handle. Oh no! Don't lose the screw. Okay, good. In this particular,
don't screw up.
yeah. This is gonna be a tight fit. In this particular shop in LA, they had a flat rate of whatever it is you want fixed. It's gonna run you $750. Really?
Jesus Christ. So
I guess I'll just shake that screw out later. Well, the thing is, the amount it costs for them to have a new product made, parts and labor, is next to nothing.
Because they outsource everything.
Yes. So, anybody that they have going and fixing something that's outdated, they have to pay that guy for his time. and it literally costs them less to sell a new device than it does to pay the guy to fix it. So they just jack up the price through the roof to the point that it deters the customer from getting it repaired, so they'll just buy the new thing.
Fuck. I mean, so do you think their initial products are well made, or because it's very clear that they like to bring out every last drop of money from people? But do you think there's any there's as far as how their initial products are built? Do you think that there's quality there,
like manufacturing quality?
Yeah, or do you think it's just like, you know, it's all kind of just bullshit at this point?
It's a slick operating system, is what it is. Most Apple products are used. There's a company called Foxconn, which I find the name ironic considering. Foxconn is a company that makes motherboards. I have used some of their motherboards before. Their motherboards are cheap. Their motherboards are middle of the road at best. And Foxconn is a child company of Apple. They're the ones who make all their circuit boards.
Oh, jeez.
So, no, manufacturing quality is...
subpar.
Yeah, for how much they like to tout how you know, fantastic their systems are, they really aren't. It's mostly the operating system, and I know I've talked to you about it before, but it's one of those things where, like, you know, you might as well just grab Linux and run that, because they're really similar. You know, Linux doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that the Apple OS does, but, you know, it has a lot of free software. It's more secure. You know, when people go like, you know, Apple doesn't get viruses. No, Linux is safer. To me, it's just all the way around a better option. Fuck Foxconn, yes. DC Fiend, knuckle bump on that. And yeah, Foxconn is what they're putting in all their phones and computers. And that, maybe you heard about it, maybe you didn't, I don't know.
I'd never heard of Foxconn before.
Well, no, not that. There was this whole debacle about, like, Apple going in some of their factories. They have nets over the windows or outside the windows because people will try to commit suicide.
Oh, Christ. This is like in China, kind of like that, those kind of working conditions?
Yep, that's exactly where it is. And Apple was getting a bunch of backlash. Like, you know, oh, well, we don't really do that. We just buy our parts from them. And that's when it came out that they own the company that makes the parts.
Oh, Christ.
So...
I mean, what America company doesn't do that kind of bullshit, though? That's...
Well, it isn't... There are certain ways to, like, cut corners and save money, but you know, you're outsourcing, fine, but you don't need to do shit like that.
But don't work you know, don't enforce child labor, don't enforce slave labor. Like that's a big thing with chocolate companies, is like where they get their chocolate from is from slave labor. Don't you know, work your, you know, pay your workers pittance and then work them to death. Like there's human, you know, you can like follow some human rights stuff without having to be all about the bottom dollar. It's really a shame. I mean, it's more than a shame. It's fucking disgusting. But yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. Like, these companies are multi-million, billion-dollar companies, and yet they still got to do everything they can to even make more money and get higher revenue and stuff like that. And it's just, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I guess it's the idea of greed. Like, you know, it's never enough.
Yeah. I mean, I understand wanting to make money, but like you said, that point of, like, it's never enough. There is a point where you just got to call it and be like, you know...
There's a point like, oh, okay, if we sign off with this makes us rotten human beings. Do we continue doing it?
And DC Fiend, yeah, having to pay for just phone support in general is, yeah, that's bat crap.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is going to be hard to see with between the focus and everything else that's going on, but this is my CPU. It's an AMD Ryzen. It's an 8-core, so it's going to be running at a full... Wait, is it going to be 16? Was it an 8-core? Yeah. So this one's going to be running as a full 16 thread. It's going to be running like it's 16 cores, basically.
So I'm not too sure what 16 thread means.
Okay, so originally you had a processor, right? And you had a single processor in a computer, and it would execute a certain number of instructions per second. The gigahertz is literally the number of instructions it can execute. So this one has a base operation speed of 3.6 gigahertz. That's 3,600,000,000 operations or instructions per second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then you started coming out with dual-core systems. Now, a dual-core is basically just like one processor, but it basically runs like it's two processors in one. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, a thread is a how your processor runs. And some processors can run multiple threads. That means even though it's one core can run multiple threads. And the thread is the software side of what's going on. As far as like the computer sees it, how it interprets the number of processors you have. So this is one processor that contains 8 cores, and each of those cores can run 2 threads, so it can run like it's 2 processors. So it's one processor that runs like it's 16 processors.
Alright.
And each of those cores, or each of those threads, runs at 3.6 billion instructions per second.
Christ. That's crazy. So I have a, so when I got and I didn't build my PC again. I had guys build it for me, but they said at the time I could choose what Intel processor I have. There was i3, i5, and i7, and at the time I had enough to get an i7, which was the highest, which was the most powerful processor they had at the time for. But 7 means how many cores it has, right? Is that am I understanding that right?
And that would be why I have issues with Intel.
Because they only go up as i7?
No.
Oh.
When you got yours built, you had the i3, i5, and i7. Now, an i3 is going to be 2 cores that are hyper-threaded, so each of them is running at double speed. So it's like a 4-core.
Oh.
An i5 could be a 4-core that's hyper-threaded, so it runs as 8. Or it could be a dual-core that runs as a 4-core.
Oh, so they're just not clear with their shit.
And an i7 could be a 6-core that would run as a 12-core. I don't have enough fingers. Or it could be a 4-core that runs as an 8-core. Or it could be a dual-core that runs as a 4-core. So the labeling...
I don't know which it is. I just know it's an i7.
And that's the problem is, unless you have the specifics on it, you can't tell. An i7 really doesn't tell you shit. If it's an i3, I can tell you right away. An i5 means it's going to be a dual or a quad.
7 means it's like 4 different possibilities.
3. It's going to be a 2, a 4, or a 6.
So basically, Intel is just not clear with their chips.
No.
That's
No. And even the way they manufacture their processors, AMD goes and manufactures their processors in a set method that generates the same thing every time. Intel goes and makes their processors in huge sheet wafers, and they go and cut them up to be used in their processors. And basically, the really good ones go into i7s, the medium grade ones go into i5s, and the low grade ones go into i3s.
Are you fucking kidding me?
So what happens is, because they have these dividing lines, but everything is a gradient, you might get an i5 that almost runs like an i7, or you might get an i7 that almost runs like an i5.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's really kind of bullshit there, because there's like
you're gambling.
quality.
When you buy it, you're
Yeah.
gambling. And when you're paying, it's bad enough if you're paying like several hundred or $1,000 for a CPU, which I'm okay with because I know what I'm getting. But when I'm paying like $3,000 for something and you can't even guarantee exactly how it's going to perform, no, I am not all right with that.
Because they're so mass production at this point that there's no quality. Like their quality control is basically because they basically put their seconds in their cheaper products, and that's just that is so fucking shady. I can't believe that.
And that's why I don't like Intel processors.
Where were you like 4-5 years ago when I was building this thing? God damn it, dude. Shit.
I also like, and this is my personal experience, okay?
Yeah.
This is not going to be any reports, so anybody out there watching this, don't take this as law. This is not a fact. This is just my own observation and what I've noticed. Intel processors seem to have more issues with reliability. If you're going to get some sort of squirrely behavior or this sort of, I don't know why it went wrong, it tends to happen more often. Oh yeah, this is my thermal compound. I'm using what I have instead of what came in the little packet there. In my experience, I've had more issues as far as reliability goes with Intel processors than I have with AMD. And their labor's in China. What do you expect? Yeah, well said, DC Fiend.
So what's the other company? Nvidia? What is that? The other company?
Nvidia is a subsidiary of Intel. They're both the same company.
Okay, so no, that AMD. That's what you.
Yes.
I'm trying to. Okay, AMD. So is AMD all American? Like they're obviously smaller. They're smaller scale, but they're all like American based, and basically they make each processor with intent of it being the best it can be. Right. That's what you were getting at.
That's kind of what it like. They have a different manufacturing process that seems to have a better level of reliability for their production. Where they're based and how they do it, I have no fucking clue. Do I want to support like ethical business practices?
There's predictability.
Yeah. Simply put, yes, I do want to support ethical business practices. However, there's so much stuff that's outsourced right now. I'm just, man, these clips are way up there. I'm going to have trouble getting them down to the...
Well, you run a business, so it's not like you're building this one PC for yourself and you're just trying to make everything, the best and the most ethical. But when you run a business, I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where, to put the time and effort to make sure, where you could trace everything back to the most ethical source. You don't really have time for that.
Well, it isn't just that. It's reliability. I've noticed that when people get the most angry with their computer, it's when it's unreliable. And I will make the analogy often that it's like, what would you rather have? A stupid econo car that, it isn't that great, but it's going to start, or would you like a sports car that can go super, super fast, but every other day it won't turn over? A fast vehicle is nice. Oh boy, that case door is barely going to fit on there with that, isn't it? Wow. Let's double check that.
So DC Fiend says Alienware is equal to Dell. Is that true?
Yes, 100%. Alienware was purchased by Dell a few years back, so they're literally the same line of computers now.
So because I remember, like,
Oh, wow.
Alienware was basically built up to be, you know, the basically the shit as far as with computers. It's
Well,
like,
that's when it was starting out. That's when it was
Yeah.
starting out. Yeah, it was its own independent company, but now it's not. It's owned by Dell. If you get some of Dell's like XPS gaming line, it's the same fucking thing as a bunch of the Alienware systems out there now. Except they're going to charge more for the Alienware because it's a big brand name. Also,
so when they bought it, they were buying the brand. That's basically what they were looking for.
well, now that's what it is. I mean, before, Alienware used to be a company that made good systems at reasonable prices. But then, like I said, Dell bought them out. Now they're yeah.
They're a shadow of their former self.
Yeah. If you even want to call them that. I do not think I'm going to be able to put the case fans in here that I wanted to because my heatsink is just too fucking tall. But
no.
It's okay. It's okay. They were not going to do anything except for provide, a little more airflow and green light. If they aren't going to fit, then that is 100% okay.
You could just, take a small strand of Christmas lights and just stuff it in there, I guess.
Yeah. I guess if I found some sort of like...
not, but
If I found some sort of super thin fan, or if I want to get like crazy and mount them on the outside, I could do that. My green case fans have little metal grills. That might be interesting. I might do that because my computer sits on its side like this. If I actually let me take my my camera and see if I can bring it around to the front of my computer. There we go. Don't. Oh, good. Okay. So this is the setup with my monitor here. So you can see that like my sitting height is about here, and if we go up and over this way,
oh my gosh!
This is where my current computer sits. It lays on its side. And you can see back there. And I have, there isn't enough light to see underneath, but there's actually little foam pads that help prop it up so I can slide it in and out easy without like tearing it up. But there's plenty of space up there. So if I go and I set these fans up top, is that centered enough? No. Yeah, that ought to do it. Oh, come here. And I bought 4 just in case. I thought I was only going to be able to use 3, but I bought 4 and then it would work. Because I was figuring this would sit high enough that I could still have enough space for 1, but no. These things are... Yeah, they're going to be too thick. Because that heatsink comes up too far. Yeah, it's just too tall.
But you think you can mount them right? Oh, yeah, that would actually look really cool. And you'll still get like a sense of airflow if they're right there.
So what I'll do is I will literally mount them. Well, I'll need to figure out a way to get the wires inside. That's fine. I can just drill a small hole or something like that. And I'll literally just mount them on the top like that. Or like this, depending upon which way the airflow goes on this. I'm going to need to check it. Doesn't matter. Point is, I can mount it on there, and they come with these little metal grills. So I can mount it to the case, and then I can just mount the grill on the front. And then I put another one there, and then there we go. That'd be nice. That'd work.
They look cool.
Have a little smokestack coming out the side. Oh, that's what I'll do. Because these mount here, and then the other one will mount here. So you'll have this gap in the middle, and I'll just like have, you know, a hole drilled here. Just saw a little part off. That'll do it. And I'll do that before I paint the side panel, so it won't even look like a big deal by the time I'm done. Holy should have measured that. Yes, Holy should have. No. I expected it to be an issue, and if that was the case, I was willing to accept it. But I found a workaround. If somebody's determined enough, there's always a way. And at this point, pretty much everything I build has, well, for myself. If I'm building it for a client, you know, it has to look, you know, clean to a certain extent. But if I'm building it for myself, I am totally willing to accept a certain amount of jank. Because there's, I tell you what, some crazy shit I have managed to pull off just being a little bit, you know, squidgy with it.
Well, I think it reflects the whole mad scientist theme, aesthetics that you hold so dear to yourself.
Well, fuck yes it does.
Yeah. It's like, you know, contraptions and, you know, totally fits within that realm. People, you can go out and buy something that's sleek and nice looking and like a kind of reflects like new cars and all stuff like that, or you can, you know, have your own custom built jalopy that's unique and fun.
That would be a little more time, effort, money that I'm not willing to invest, but it would be nifty. In custom vehicle. Oh no! Oh no! I'm out of beverage.
No! What does Alex do?
I get a refill, that's what I do.
Yes.
Alright, so... Let's see here. I'm gonna need to wait on that other fan. Because those orange fans, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically just get a Dremel tool and saw off cut those little segments out, and then it'll have the place to put the clips in. So that'll be totally fine. But I don't want to do that tonight. Especially not while I'm assembling this. Oh yeah, there's still a screw lost in there, isn't there? There it is!
Screw get?
Screw get, yes. Okay. Set that over there. Man, it's a good thing I only have 2 sticks of RAM going in here. If I wanted to put in a full 4, they wouldn't fit. Again, this thing is just too far forward. I could find slimmer line fans, that would be fine, but it doesn't matter. I have 2. It is sufficient.
Is that 4 each?
Huh?
Like, the way I understand RAMs is that one stick is 4 gigs. Or can you buy more can you buy something that's higher?
Can you buy something higher?
I don't know. This is like a whole new world for me.
I know. No, it's just a funny question. Considering I was going, you know what? I might go and put a couple of 8 gig sticks in my computer. You know, that would be cool. So I could get 16 in there.
You found something higher than that, too.
And then I went, nah, let's put 2 16 gig sticks in there. We're going to put 32 gigs of RAM.
Shit.
Yeah, that's the RAM. If I can get this to focus. It's not going to, is it?
Wow. when I get the money, I'm gonna have to get 416. So then I would have. I don't know the math.
416s, that'll give you 64.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't read it, but that's what it looks like. Okay, there you go.
Oh, my computer will be so fast it can come to the future. Heck yeah. Wow, look at that. It's snazzy looking too.
I have four 4 gig sticks in my current system, and if I need to run a cleanup on somebody's hard drive, like if it's a real fucking mess, it basically eats up all the RAM in my system to get it done. And this is, of course, because I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible. The problem here is it makes my tower unusable during that time, which is a pain in the ass, obviously. Having 16 gigs and it offloading so much stuff that it eats up all my memory. Most of the time I hardly ever use that much RAM in my system. If I'm eating up half of it, that's pretty intense. In fact, let's find out what I'm at right now. If I pop open this little LED display on my keyboard. Oh, between streaming and everything, I'm literally at exactly 51% on my RAM and 44, or about a little under 50% with my CPU. I don't know if you can see the little bars moving back and forth up there, but yeah.
I have oh yeah, I see that. I have an Intel CPU usage little widget on my desktop, and apparently with just Firefox, Discord, Spotify, and Steam open, I'm already at 56%. So that doesn't seem like a good thing to me, but oh well.
It isn't, honestly, as long as you are not topping out when you're trying to do something, you're not bad.
As long as it's not like at 99 and I'm trying to do...
Yeah, once you're in the 90s, then it's probably offloading some of the workload of your RAM to your hard drive, and that you do not want.
Because then it wears down.
Yes. Wears it down if it's a regular hard drive. If it's a solid state, it'll fucking kill it.
So, Potato inquires, how much did this whole set up cost?
That's a good question, Potato.
Do you not know?
It's hard to say because I got extra stuff when I made the purchase, like the game controllers and the arms and tripod for my mic and my camera, which have not arrived yet, and some other supplies I needed to, and my new chair. So there were some extra costs in there, but the entire bill, the chair, that everything I just named off, including everything that's here.
So this is like your whole streaming setup. This is basically
yes.
Yes, like a whole like a nice, good, high quality. If you want to stream on Twitch, setup with a nice chair and all that junk. And
one system, I'm not going to be running dual systems the way that some people are. I could if I wanted to keep my old one, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, the entire bill topped up at $1,800 some.
Not bad at all. That's when at the time. So
now hold up. There is a caveat here. Okay.
Okay.
I got a low-end video card to kind of juggle things around. The video card I'm going to be using is the one that's in my tower right now.
Okay.
I originally got that video card to start streaming.
Mm-hmm.
when I got the video card, that was at the very end of June, and it cost me about $150. And it is a NVIDIA GTX 1060 or 1070. I want to say a 1070, but it might be whatever. You know, it's pretty close to really fucking nice, right? So that cost me $150. Now that same video card is going for $400 because so many people are buying them up to make Bitcoin mining rigs.
Oh God.
So I got lucky with that. I did buy a. Come on, I'm gonna cut myself. Like I said, I did buy a.
Oh, careful!
Yeah, it just hurt. No blood. I think the video card I got was a GTX 1040, and that one ran about $100.
Wow. So at the end, so you basically got a nice video card before the whole cryptocurrency
picked up. Yes.
Picked up.
So
that's
all I'm saying is, like, you know, how much this would cost, I can't say accurately because the card is with the old price, not with what it would be now. Now I know the chair was $200. The two controllers were about $40. So we're down to $1,600 basically, and then maybe another. I don't know, let's say a total of $300. You knock that off, so you're looking at about $1,500 for this system.
That's still really good.
And the solid state drive is 500 gigs, I think. And each of the three platter drives is 2 terabytes. And actually, the big reason I'm getting this, like, my system has been performing relatively well. The big reason I'm building this is because when I upgraded my video card, there wasn't that much of a boost in performance because the slot for the video card in my old motherboard doesn't run at the proper speed to take full advantage of it. So the only way to use that was to upgrade the motherboard, and at that point, with the amount of money I had, it was like, well, let's just do the whole thing then. Why not?
That's when I got my system set up about 5 years ago. Mine was about $1,500. And from what you told me, I got a little bit cheapskated. I got a smaller motherboard. Who knows what else? Like, this is still, kind of mostly creepy to me. But I don't know. I literally told him, like, I just kind of want the best I can get right now, and
okay. I just I'm sorry to cut you off. Your processor. If you open up your task manager, if you open up your task manager and you go to your performance level, it'll have a certain number of graphs in the task manager for the processor.
Yep.
How many graphs are in for the processor section?
For CPU history, which one am I looking at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so they gave you a quad-core i7 then.
Is that a good thing?
Well, it's not the dual-core, so that's better, but it's not the 6-core either. So the i7, they gave you the one that's kind of middle of the road.
Oh, fuck.
Roughly speaking, I can't really say without knowing the gigahertz to it, but there you go. That's now we have the answer to the one question from earlier.
Guess I grew you 5 years ago, dude.
I was out here.
Yeah, I was up here. So I guess okay. Well, if it ever comes down to it, where I have another $15 to sink into it, get a new computer, I'll hire your butt. How about that?
Yeah. Totally doable.
And hire, as in total. The whole friends thing. You're helping me with mine. For free. I do really appreciate that, but when it comes to physical, doing it for me, I definitely want to compensate you for that, because I would be completely lost without your knowledge. So for what it's worth, I do really appreciate
no sweat.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up, because I bought my because when we were talking about video cards, I bought mine sometime last October, and I thought I could just plug it in and be good, but yeah, long story short, my motherboard isn't compatible with it, so I had to get another motherboard, and it's a little bit more difficult now, but now I'm glad that I bought my video card when I did, because at the time it was still one of the more expensive ones too, and I managed to get a pretty good deal with it. Okay, so you're holding something up. What is it?
This is an add-in I got.
Mm-hmm.
This goes in the front of the computer. It's going to go right beneath where my CD-ROM drive is.
Some extra USB ports, which is
always
nice. Maybe
I'll go and I'll bump the CD-ROM down, or the Blu-ray down a notch, and put that in so it's closer to the rest of the plugs. But it has a bunch of card readers up here, which is nice because I haven't had one of those in a system for a while. Mine has been broken. It has the 3 USB 3.0 ports here, and then a USB Type-C port, which is close to, but not quite the same thing as a Thunderbolt port. Thunderbolt can be faster if you have something that's designed to work with it. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care because I have video cards and capture cards for that, so why would I fucking need it? That's actually part of what became the issue with that one client of mine that canceled on the motherboard. Was they really wanted, they absolutely had to have, Thunderbolt, can we get Thunderbolt ports on there? And I'm going, okay, yeah, if you really want to. What are you going to use it for? Oh, we don't know, but we want to have them on there just in case. I'm going, really? Mm-hmm. It's your choice, guys. It's your choice.
Oh, Jesus.
That entire thing was a fucking nightmare. From ordering the parts to dealing with the price to helping them get it set up to troubleshooting some shit. It was a full fucking fiasco.
Christ. No, I remember when you started your, because you still streamed despite that, and you were definitely in a fluster.
I was.
That's the understatement, but yeah.
I stayed up so late trying to get that thing done when everything finally came in, and it turned out one of the sticks of RAM was bad, and it's of course a matched pair. So I had to. I mean, they had me place the order right before Christmas, so I'm going, all right, guys, you realize this is going to take a long while to get in because, everything's backed up, right? Christmas time. They're like, yeah, we just want the order placed before the holiday or before the new year for tax reasons. Mm-hmm. Spend the money, okay, cool, tax break, I get it. So, the order's placed, everything's on its way, and then one of them tells me, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we've got, this, these 2 add-in cards that we want to put in there. And I'm going, oh, okay, that's cool. They're all PCIe though, and as we've covered with this one, you have the PCIe regular, the times 16, and the regular the standard PCI slots here, because they've been dealing with a lot of antiquated technology. So when I ordered them this motherboard, I went, okay, if we get, you know, the PCI slots, then whatever older add-in cards they have, they'll be able to work with. Good deal. Then they give me this news that they need there's already 2 add-in cards that are going to be using PCI slots, PCIe times 1 slots, and they have 2 more that are going to have to go in there. So suddenly it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So that means the motherboard that I ordered for you is not going to fucking work. Hence why I ordered them the new one, and I took this one.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's
so first we have the news of like, all right, so this is going to be a long fucking delay because of the holiday. They go, yeah, okay, and then they let me know about, you know, these add-in cards. I'm going like, all right, well, now that we bothered to wait this entire time for the motherboard to come in, you're going to have to wait for the other motherboard to come in because you didn't tell me what you were looking for. All right, that's fair enough. We're sorry. Okay. And after it comes in, I start finally trying to get everything built. It won't even stay booted on long enough to install Windows. Why the hell not? Oh, well, after playing around with it for I don't know how many hours trying to get this stupid thing to work, I finally find out that it's because some of the RAM, you know what, I'm not going to set it on the side like that, because I'm concerned some of the wires are going to crush the heatsink. So, yeah, you're just going to be looking at this part of the computer right now. Sorry, just bear with me. So, yeah, after all that's said and done, then finally, you know, find out that it's the RAM is bad, and we're going to need a new set of that. And, you know, of course, after waiting that long, they were getting anxious, so they were like, hey, can you get it done soon? So I stayed up, like, almost an entire night trying to solve that. I still got the stream in, because it was like, all right, well, you know, there was some such and such problem, maybe I can make it, you know, work. It was a fucking nightmare. And, yeah, they, I told them what happened. I told them, you know, the RAM was going to get replaced. They were not going to get charged for it because that one was obviously not their fault. And, yeah, I told them, you know, here's the deal. I've already got the new RAM ordered. It's on its way. I'm going to leave one stick of the RAM in, the stick that was not defective, obviously. And, you know, once the new one arrives, we'll swap it, and you'll get your full 16 gigs as opposed to the 8. And then I'll send the defective ones back. And that was finally dealt with, thankfully. There was still some other stuff to get done there.
Still one huge headache.
Yep, including having to work on a weekend, which I hate. The upside, of course, is I get to charge more. They got a fat fucking bill coming their way. They're going to be unhappy when they have to pay that, but you know what?
Well, you know, it's for emotional damage too, you know. They're paying for that.
They're paying for my weekend time. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. You know.
My weekend time
You're
is...
You're going to work on the weekend.
Off hours.
What is it, like double?
Whenever it's... Yeah, it's double rate. Whenever it's off hours, my hourly rate is doubled, whether it's nights or weekends. So, and I'm giving them a little bit of a discount. But it's still going to be a hefty bill, like almost a $400 bill. Which some of it was... I'm not sure if it was their fault or not with what happened that particular weekend. It could have just been a fluke. I don't know. I don't really care. But what I will tell you is it was not mine. And then, of course, that gives me grounds to say, like, that's... Yes, you're getting charged at the end. Alright, I am going to use the bathroom and refill my beverage. Oh yeah, I better put a counter on there for the beverage, huh? And, it's going to be right... Let's scoot this over just a little bit so you can see. I can't scoot it over enough. Can I? Can't I? I have these different control sets. So I go to control set 2, and I hit that one. That's on the wrong screen. Damn it all. Well, fucking never mind then.
I'm gonna mute my mic until I get back, so nobody. Unless people want me to sing a song.
Now I need to plug my mouse in because I fucked something up.
Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard the doo-doo.
Yep. We need... Let's see here. First, we need this. Boop, boop. No, wrong way. Okay. Good enough. And... Control set 2. Streaming window. Is it still not doing it? Are you fucking serious?
I can still see your...
Oh, because it... Okay. It's because this is a different scene setup. Normally, it would be... I would hit the control... Does that mean I won't be able to toggle the video? Please tell me that doesn't mean that's what it is.
Yeah, you gotta set up... I think you gotta set up your toggles...
For all your different... Well...
Yeah.
Actually, do I? Let's find out.
Mouse is that?
Huh?
DC Fiend likes your mouse. What kind of mouse is
Oh, thank you. This is a JWFY gaming mouse.
What?
It's... I honestly... That's all I can tell you. JWFY. It's from some off-brand in China that sold me the mouse and a keyboard, and the keyboard arrived cracked, so I tried to get them to exchange it, and they fed me a line of shit and then stopped responding to my emails. So, it looks cool, and it is held up, but as far as reliability, or as far as customer service, I cannot recommend them. I could go and dig up their information on who the company was.
I mean, you can... I mean, I basically found your mouse, like a picture of it anyway. But, like, if you do just a basic search, like, apparently you can, like, not buy the exact one, but it's from the same company for $5. And I don't know, the mouse for $5 seems a little bit on the cheaper end of maybe not.
Well, this was one of these deals where it's like, oh, you can buy this for just $1. All you have to do is pay shipping.
Then
shipping is $20.
Well, yeah, it looks like your mouse is discontinued. So congratulations, you have a discontinued mouse. Woohoo!
It looks cool. Yeah. It really, I mean, it just changes colors slowly. There isn't much to customize. You can change the resolution of the cursor with the middle button here, and it has like the forward back on the side, but you can't like custom program it or anything.
Yeah. Well, the only
Yeah, a $5 mouse it is not. I ended up buying, like I said, the keyboard, this mouse, and then the same one for my girlfriend, and it was a very expensive order. It was not as cheap as advertised.
There you go. If DC Fiend, if you want that mouse, it looks like they are selling it on eBay for $8.
Okay, so, that's still not a bad deal, though.
No, it's not too bad.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the stream up, I am going to, or the video feed up. I am going to mute my mic, but I'm going to turn the desktop audio on. So, you know.
You have music?
No, I do not, but you can still continue to talk and interact with anybody else who's on there.
Yay!
So, hopefully that works.
I can ask all the pressing questions about myself.
So, yeah, I'll be back shortly.
Give a whiz. Or give a whiz. Oh, you have your mic turned off, so I can't hear you. Oh, because you'll hear me. Oh, no, there, and still, I guess I'll hear. Okay. Alright. There he goes. Bye! He'll be back. Hey, everybody, this is B coming to you live from Montana, America. We're gonna have a fun time here while Alex goes, refill his boozy drink and probably, unload his bladder. Can I beatbox? I can, hit a box with a bat, if that's what you mean. Jokes. No. I mean, I could try. Are you cool with, seeing, listening to me, make a crash and burn fail? I mean, failing can be funny. There you go. That's me, God. I'm gonna be watching this whole stream back, because so the reason why I'm, if anyone's curious, the reason why I'm, asking him questions to this stuff is because I have to replace both the motherboard and the video card on my setup, and I know next to nothing about putting in computer junks. So I'm here to ask all the questions and maybe try to prep myself and to do it myself, because I'm kind of terrified. Because things that I work on often end in disaster. But hey, you know, this seems all kind of pretty straightforward. So maybe it will turn out okay. Yeah. So, um, but yeah, I'm gonna be rewatching this, and I'll get to hear my own voice. And everybody loves the sound of their own voice, right? So that's gonna be fun. Uh, so DC Fiend, from your comments, it seems like you kind of your way around building PCs. Took me 2 days to throw my comp together. Well, that would have probably been a lot shorter than if I was to do it from scratch without any prior knowledge. It probably would have taken me a lot longer. So 2 days is actually, in my eyes, is pretty good. Cause you know, oh, potato hype. Hype. Sorry. But then, here, this is what I sound like, potato. Hope it, you know, hope the illusion of my my dulcet tones is now broken. So, sorry for any disappointment. Watch a video, fam. Yeah. I don't know. But if it's any interest, so I bought a video card sometime last spring, fall, because I initially just wanted to upgrade my video card, but and this was like nowhere told on the video card or anything like that. But apparently my motherboard is not compatible with the video card, so I had to get a new motherboard. But With the video card, when I bought it, it was just shy of $300, maybe like somewhere, like in the 230s, 250s range. And now, as I go to Google looking at my same video card, since Alex mentioned this whole you know, fluctuation of rates now with the cryptocurrency fad. Uh, Now that video card is in the 800s, 500s, 600s range. So, uh, yeah, I'm glad I bought it when I did too. What brand of card? It is a Sapphire Nitro AMD Radon. Uh, I don't know the exact um gigs or RX value or anything like that, but it was a card that Alex or Diesel um showed linked to me and said this would probably be one of the best cards I could get. And yeah, I had to find one. I took a long time to find one at a good price, because even then at the time they were selling out really quick, and some people wanted them for as much as $600. And what brand of board? Fucking Radon. I'm so unfamiliar with them. Well, yeah, I don't. You probably know more about them than I do. 'Cause yeah, this is definitely new territory for me. Good to finally hear my voice. Well, thank you. I think it sounds well. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure most people are gonna just hate the sound of their own voice. So I listen to my voice and I sound like, I don't know, weird. But fun fact for anybody, so when we listen to our own voice when we talk, we're listening to sound traveling through our bones in our bodies, instead of through our ears. So that's why when you talk, and versus when you hear yourself talk through a recording device, it sounds so different. Is because you're listening to your voice travel through air rather than through bone. I know that you should have went Nvidia. Maybe, like, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, Diesel was helping with me at the time. I'm sure. I mean, right now, what kind of card do I have now? Let me see if I can pull that up, because my card is pushing 5 years old right now, so I'm sure any upgrade is going to be a good thing. Give me a second. Alex is coming back, so he'll take over here soon.
My last video card. Back. My last video card was like almost 6 years old.
Oh.
And yeah, if you get one that's decent, it isn't gonna let you down too fast.
Yeah. Well, so I told DC Fiend that my video card that I got. I don't know if you were listening to everything we said, but but I got you pushed. You showed me this AMD Radeon. And he's saying that an Nvidia card would have been better if I got that, but I'm like, I don't, it's probably going to be better than the one I have now. That's kind of, good enough for me. I mean, as long as I can, draw and play games, I don't, I'm definitely not the type of person to get like a new video card every month, because there's definitely people who are that obsessed.
Yeah, and Radeon, like I said, they're good with multiple video outputs. They are what Radeon is more friendly with that. And you were looking to get 3 monitors up, right?
Yes, that was the main thing, because I have a Cintiq tablet now, and I have 2 monitors, and right now I have to basically choose whenever I plug my Cintiq in, one of my monitors have to go dark, and I would like to have. I don't know, I would like to be able to draw, have some reference pulled up on one monitor, and then have my music or maybe watch something with another monitor. So, I do. Having 3 monitors was basically my main reason to look into a new video card.
And that's the big reason why I was actually saying, you might want to get the Radeon was because of that support. There are NVIDIAs that can do it, but Radeon is a lot more friendly with that.
Okay, with that. Can you tell me how to look up? I've done this a million times, but once I stop doing it, I forget. How do I look up my current video card?
You open up the run prompt. And you type in DXDIAG.
DXDIAG. There we go. Let's see here. I have a system. System language, system manufacturer, system model, BIOS, processor, memory.
There should be a tab for video.
Display?
Yes.
Would that be it? Okay. I have an AMD Radeon HD 5700 series. So, if that gives you any idea what I'm currently DCPing, that's what I got. And yeah, it was the same video card I got when I first had this system built, and that was probably, I want to say, back in 2011 or 12, around there.
And unfortunately, I can't. I'm not familiar enough with ATI cards to tell you like how powerful it is or isn't. But
no, it's you know enough to where I'm satisfied, because yeah. But you basically compared my video card with the one that I'm getting, and you said that the one I'm getting is like so many times more powerful than my current one. And I don't remember the exact number, but I remember my jaw dropping. I'm like, wow, that would definitely solve a lot of my problems I'm facing right now. So good enough for me.
yeah, and that was one of my points of frustration when I upgraded mine. Was I went, well, I got it, and I looked into like, should it work? Well, yeah, it won't get full performance, but it'll work. And okay, and I popped it in, and I had like, this much more performance increase. It was tiny. And looking at the stats, it should have like 4 times the processing power. And then as I did some more digging, it was like, yeah, no, with some older cards that it wouldn't have made that big a difference, but between the two, it was just too much of a. I'm not getting everything out of it, so.
Sometimes it's good to settle. Especially, especially if you don't really care otherwise.
Yeah. And it depends what somebody's doing. If that was their first upgrade in a long while and they had one that was mediocre, then that would make total sense. But for me, no. To go and get another one and get this little, boost in power, it was disappointing.
It was not significant enough,
yeah. Yeah. Especially if I'm trying to game and stream and do everything at the same time. No. It's not enough. What's that?
Some Medusa cords.
Yeah.
You're dealing with.
Yeah. Which they're kind of a mess, but they're long, which I like. I've had I don't know how many times where I get a system and the cords just barely reach to where I'm trying to plug them. I'm going, man, this is such a bad.
A lot of my cords, because it looks like there's the room. Like if they're too long, they can like bunch up in a little area. Some of them have this weird mesh wrapped around them, though.
Like this one?
Right. Huh?
Like this one, the one I'm holding.
It'll
show up.
The other, actually, the one that's next to it. There's actually like a bigger power cord that next to that. Has this like a mesh layer.
Not the one I'm holding right now.
I don't know if your video feed needs to update. I don't think so. I don't know.
Because right now I'm just waiting, holding this one card to see, or this cord.
Maybe I'm just so fucking far behind. Hang on, I'm gonna refresh.
Okay.
'Cause that happens. Yes, that one. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow, I was really behind. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that netting. There are, in fact, I think the power supply that's in my system right now has that around a bunch of the cables, and that's just to help try and keep it, nice and neat.
Yeah.
And simply put, the only reason I'm not reusing that same power supply is, one, it's the one that I put in the system at the start, so it's a little bit old, and two, this one is one of the things that's being, it's vanity, and that is, I'm, the one that I have right now has a green light in the power supply, and this one, or the one that I have currently has a blue light in the power supply, and the new one has a green light, so...
So, you opted out for the green one.
Well, I was gonna need power for this system anyway. I could have, underspec'd it since I was giving it away or swapping. Like I said, the one that I'm using to stream currently is going to my girlfriend, and the insides from hers are going to a friend of mine that currently does not have a computer and is not in a good place.
Where you can afford one.
In life in general. So having a gaming system for him is going to be a really good sort of escape from some of the shit he's dealing with right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can... Yeah. If he's up for it, you can probably invite him on to play some games and just,
I'm planning on it.
Yeah, just kind of... sometimes you can't always meet up with people face to face, but if they're there for you and across the interwebs,
Well, he lives in the next town over, so he's not like horrendously far away. But when we hang out, that's where when I've been gone the past few Sunday nights, I've been hanging out with him, and it's an hour drive each way. And, when we stay up, or when we hang out, we end up drinking and staying up late. So, if I end up, awake till, or if I'm there till 2 in the morning, then that means I'm not getting home till 3, and that makes a big fucking hard day the next day. And that's, that's difficult for me. Not to mention,
especially if you work, it's Monday morning next day, and you got got work and stuff like that.
Yeah. So if I don't need to be trucking down there every Sunday, and then on top of that, for the times that we can't hang out during the week, we can still get together and play who knows what, or he can at least jump online and play something.
Yeah. Just no, that's a good plan. Giving someone the opportunity where they can reach out, and because it's the struggle of trying to be an adult and get all your affairs in order, but you still want to be there for your friends and stuff. So
yeah. Okay, so
Potato says that's nice of you, and I agree.
Yes.
That is very nice of you.
Thank you, Potato. It's yeah. Certain things just suck, so you do what you can. So let's see here. For what I'm going to do tonight, we are reaching the end of it, kind of. I am going to put some of the case fans on the outside, and then that might be it. So we're reaching the limit of what I can do since I'm still waiting on other drives and on.
Got to figure out the fan situation.
On the side of the case, yes. On the front here, though, and on the back, I can do that now, which is what I'm going to do. Let's see here. This is almost disappointing. these green fans that I got to go all around the outside, they actually have the little gap in here where I could put them on the heatsink, but that's not what I want.
The thing that
that's fine though.
But then you wouldn't be able to see how pretty they are.
Yeah. I've done hard mods to cases before. The one we have in our living room, it's running Linux, and is
that something like you watch Netflix on and all that?
Yeah, it's my media system. Let me get one of these screws put in, and then I think that's the way I want it to be going. Again, I wish these were marked, but guys, what are you doing? Not marking your fans. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You're a smart person.
Well, it's simple. Either it does have a tiny little arrow hidden in a corner, like way down in here. Just way, like my finger's literally on top of it. So.
Alright, so Potato says, so I'm going to go out now. Thanks for the knowledge sharing. Don't stay up too late to catch you later, guys. Flowers. Oh, thank you, Potato.
Have a good day, Potato. Hope things are well.
Go take a walk. Go get some fresh air. You know. Go experience. You know. The outdoors and nature and all that bullshit. Have a good time. We'll see you around. Once I get my new system figured out, I'm gonna start maybe making videos or figuring out how I can stream and all that stuff. So, you know, good times are around the corner.
Speaking of, how's Turbo Moth doing? Is any news on when she's gonna be playing something again?
I haven't talked to her one-on-one in a while. Last time I did, it was actually she seemed completely just beat from school and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was getting that impression.
I think you saw that tweet where she said that she's actually getting a new system herself. So. Oh
yeah, that's right.
So, I think she's just waiting on that, and then she's gonna just jump back into it, and from there, I guess we can try to figure out how we can do, you know, the whole streaming together thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, once again, you know, if she wants, I don't know what she's planning, but if she wants help with the system, you know, let me know.
She's actually pretty knowledgeable herself.
Okay.
So, but I think I mentioned to her, like, oh yeah, Alex knows the stuff. And it's like, yeah, she seemed to know her stuff too. Like, I hope it what she didn't like to assume that she didn't know what she was doing. I don't know, but maybe I'll put her up here and ask her how things are going. But she's probably just settling back into the next semester of school here. So.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, she's living. She's going to college, so you know that always comes first because you know
it kind of has
taking the time to better yourself and all that. She's hoping. I don't know how much of one-on-one you've talked with her, but she's basically trying to she's getting a major in business and a second in Japanese studies or Japanese language, and
Oh, that's cool.
she's actually going to be trying to shoot for one of those English teachers programs over in Japan, and she's striving for that.
My sister was going for that for a long while.
Yeah, that was actually something I wanted to work towards too at one point, but me getting a college degree, that kind of was a disaster. My fault, mostly, but also because the school I chose was a bunch of fuck-ups. But, yeah. But no.
Well, right now, honestly, the education system is kind of becoming a joke.
Well, okay, so I was going to the art institutes.
Okay.
Have you heard the news surrounding them?
No.
At all? Yeah, they apparently weren't giving out real credits for a lot of their curriculars.
Wow, that's really shitty.
Yeah, and they got sued by a lot of students that couldn't transfer their credits over or couldn't continue in other directions, and they lost, and they ended up having to pay a lot of money to these students who graduated from them or didn't graduate from them. I didn't try to proceed that because my circumstance was, a lot of my own fault. I can't, I wouldn't feel right going after that. But yeah,
Well, if you get the option, I would say do it, and that's because any classes you did complete, they owe you for that time and money. Hell, even if things didn't work out, the fact that they were collecting payment under false pretense is grounds enough to say, fuck you guys, give me money.
I don't know, maybe at some point I'll look it up, but
But
yeah, they were, so I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Portland ever since I was in high school, because I wanted to proceed some kind of art career, because that was the only career I thought I could actually enjoy. Because I was kind of pushed to figure out what I wanted to be before I was really ready. But that's its own level of headache right there. But I was told at the time by my counselors that Art Institute is a for-profit school, but they weren't really giving me any other options. So, but now that I kind of wish I would have listened to them a little back then. That's totally the case. They, they're just looking. You can almost say that they're in college these days. Trying to suck up whatever money they can out of their students. But
well, yeah, and that's the big issue. Is like one of my clients. He actually he taught English for a while. He's an author, and he got an offer to go work at UCLA, and he turned it down. He was pretty much retired at that point anyway. But the reason he decided to get this out of the way for a minute while I put the grate on this fan. He was mostly retired, but the big reason he decided he didn't want to do it was because they had incidents where they were... Some colleges, to me, are now becoming almost more like paper mills. Get the students in, get them out, get them their degree, and collect our cash. And part of this is people being overly sensitive. While he was griping, he was constantly making reference to the snowflake generation.
Oh, yeah, the call-out culture and the safe spaces.
Yeah, he was saying that, before a class started, whatever material you were going to cover, you had to give a trigger warning first. Now, to be fair, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with saying, like, hey, this material we're talking about covers things like rape, here's a warning for you. But when you have students saying, well, that's a sensitive subject for me, I don't want to read it. Okay, I understand you don't want to. There are a lot of things you have to do in life you don't want to.
unless you have like a full fucking doctor's note saying you cannot psychologically handle this is what we're going to cover. I've given you a warning. Now we're gonna, go over whatever the material is.
It's a real world, yeah, it's a real world thing. I mean, it still happens just because you can't. I mean, it's.
And
like if someone wanted to tell you like this traumatic experience, you're gonna shut them down, saying, "Oh, I can't listen to you because of my own." Because trigger warning, like that's.
So what was happening was you had kids checking out of classes basically, and threatening to sue the teacher for wanting to fail them. So then the college is basically telling them like, listen, they're paying good money, just give them a passing grade, just get them through.
Oh my god.
So and he was saying this is happening more and more, and. He's not going to be part of that when you have this situation where he's trying to teach people and they don't want to listen.
Well, the thing is it's like he should if there's like a warning, like you said, if there's a warning before that you take the class, like, hey, we're going to cover sensitive subjects. If you don't feel like you can handle this, better not take the class. But even with that, people are still taking it, and they're just putting up picket fences and protesting when it's a headache. Like,
and don't get me wrong, if somebody is that sensitive, that's fine.
Like it could be something they, it could be like PTSD for them. I totally get that.
And that's okay. But if that is the case, get a doctor's note, right? Basically, get like a psychologist, whatever. Here's your exception. Make it to where,
you're not inconveniencing the teacher.
Yeah, because it's one thing if you have a problem, but when somebody can't do their job, it doesn't.
Well, it also comes off as like they're putting it the teacher in a state, like him trying to assign them this book that has rape in it. They treat it like if he's actually doing something as horrible as that, and it's
I'm just using that as one example. That isn't the only thing that's going on. There's a lot that's going on with it. I'm just saying, like, you have points where students are getting angry, and the colleges are basically just telling them, like, just pass them. It's okay. Just as long as we get paid, as long as people are happy and we keep our ratings up, then that's all that matters.
It's going to be that easy for. There's no like college, like the whole idea of college is to go in and have life experiences too.
And that's the bigger thing is, like, I didn't realize this until a friend of mine who went to a larger college told me. He said, that's the reason that people do go to college, is to meet other individuals that you make connections with that'll help you out down the line, right? Mm-hmm. It isn't. Yeah. I mean, you do get an education there, hopefully, but that's not, in the end, that's not why people are going to college anymore. They're going to college to rub elbows with people that will help them secure them jobs or places in business. And to me, that's not, like, it's a pain in the ass, but I'll accept it. It should still be a place of learning, though. And yeah, a bunch of colleges are just kind of turning to poop.
They're giving into the students, basically. They're giving into this oversensitive culture that we're seeing right now from this generation.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I heard about this, the way this whole of overly offensive culture, like was something when Jerry Seinfeld said something like that, because he actually visited a college and he made some probably some off-color jokes, and people were just booing him, and he just felt like he couldn't go to colleges anymore. And when I first read that, I'm like, well, you shouldn't be saying jokes, offensive jokes like this. But this was like way back when, before this got so out of hand. But then I'm like, I'm seeing just how out of hand it has gotten, where people are blocking bridges or blocking access to the school for other students in a form of protest or something like that. And it's they're trying to make college needs to be a safe space, but they go so crazy to where it's not safe. It has gotten so out of hand, and the colleges, in order to avoid news stories or anything like that, they're just giving into this, and that's not how life is. That's not going to work for them, and you shouldn't reward behavior like that anyway.
No. Well, in the end, to me, it all comes down to, this is going to sound weird, but a cycle of hate and dealing with respect. The bigger thing here is understanding the difference between, like, being politically correct and being respectful. You know, somebody can say something that sounds offensive, but if they're not trying to be, and I realize there's a fine line here, but to me that's the big thing is, was somebody trying to be a dick? If they're trying to be disrespectful, then yeah, fuck them. But otherwise, say, hey, dude, that's not cool. Let's not go down that road.
Well, it was something that you said when we first met. There's, it's not so much what the person said; it's what they mean. And yeah, that's there's more value into what they mean than what they said. Because sometimes tones or what phrasing or something like that, there's a million different ways where things can get miscommunicated.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, for anybody watching, B and I have a mutual friend that is gender neutral. Mm-hmm. And, they can be referred to however they prefer to be referred to. It's not my choice. It doesn't matter. It's their choice. If somebody refers to them by a certain he or she pronoun, they will not get... They won't blow up. They will say, actually, I prefer to be called such and such. Could you please do that? They handle it in a respectful manner, and hopefully that's the end of it. But I think that's the right way to do it. If somebody goes and says, well, you have this type of genitalia, therefore I'm going to call you this. No, that's not okay. No. Because that's the equivalent of saying, hey, my name is Steve. And then somebody goes, well, you look like a John to me, so I'm going to call you John from now on. I just said call me Steve, please. How about you just continue to call me Steve? That would be, that is not hard. I understand how it can be confusing to some people, but it's not... call me by this name? Okay, use that name. Call me by this thing? Okay, so it will be. Not a big deal. Now, where it becomes an issue is, and this is what I mean by cycle of hate, is having, that same situation. Instead of being calm and respectful and saying, I would like it if you were to call me such and such, person just loses their shit and goes, I'm not a man. I prefer to be called a they, you pig. And it's like, okay, you don't need to be a dick about it. Well, when somebody lashes out at that, that person then has a negative association with... Yeah, connection to that. So, at that point, when they start dealing with people of this, whatever their sexual preference, their gender pronoun, their whatever you want to call it, well, now they start giving them a hard time on purpose because... They have they're expecting like to be judged and shit like that. Yes, and it comes back around. So because they start giving them shit, these people build up a resentment, and whenever somebody doesn't refer to them by the proper pronoun, they immediately lapse into this, well, you're just an asshole. And it's, as the phrase goes, hate breeds hate. That's literally what it is. And if everybody were to just calm the fuck down and try to be more respectful and listen.
Like, start an actual conversation instead of just like there's that whole, that there's that whole movement where you punch somebody, if like, I don't want to go too much in it, but basically, I think like nothing's gonna get resolved. Nobody's minds are gonna get changed, and when you automatically go in for the throat.
Yes.
And the thing is, as much as we don't like the idea of one bad apple spoils the bunch, a lot of people still operate on that thinking.
They do.
And
they do.
Yeah, and it's not a great way to think. You need to like not associate one bad experience with the rest of it, but it's gonna happen, and so it's gonna happen regardless. So don't be the fucking bad apple to spoil the bunch. Don't be that person.
There are a bunch of different ways that you have what's called the 80-20 rule. And to me, a lot of the time this comes with a job or effort or learning something. But it also comes with people. I may have said it before. And who has caught this and who hasn't, I don't know. But I'm going to say it again. I'm a Homestuck fan. Weird little webcomic.
No.
Yeah.
You?
So, I love it to pieces, and there are a lot of people out there who hate it because you have some noisy, obnoxious fans that...
Yeah. The fans can be assholes. I should say that.
Yeah, but any can. And unfortunately, you had a few that were exceptionally loud and troublesome regarding this comic, and that's disappointing. So now you have a negative connotation that has been built up with this comic. 80% of the people are cool. I've had some really good friendships and good times with them and revolving around that. And then you have this other 20% that are absolute shit. And the same thing with the they say with work. 80% of the work can be done in 20% of the time, and that last 20% takes 80% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
As far as any group goes, whether it be a political group, a religious group, or a webcomic fan base, 80% of the people make 20% of the noise, and 20% of the people make 80% of the noise. And that's really what it comes down to, is the large vocal group. The one that everybody sees it as tends to be a minority. They're the assholes, and even the members of that group don't like them.
Yeah, no, with very good reason. It's just people get so wrapped up in their own heads as far as this property that they don't own, and they get so possessive of it and associated to it to a level where they connect to it in a way that it's like straight like a blood vessel, like straight to their fucking heart or something like that. And if you love something that much, that's fine. But the thing is, every person deserves to absorb, to look at something and absorb it in their own unique way. And the thing is with these hyper obsessive fans is that they try to control how other people view it. Like, these are the good ships, these are the bad ships, this is how this should be interpreted, or something like that. They basically say that the way that they view something is the only way to interpret it. And when people try to they try to challenge that, or in their eyes they're challenging that, they go fucking nuts. And it's the same kind of stuff about telling someone to kill themselves over over a stylized fan art that they think is problematic or some bullshit like that. And it's a fucking mess. I continue to see the internet and people making connections with each other and stuff like that as a positive thing, but stuff like that's definitely the ugly side, because because people get into this mob mentality, and they just they fucking lose it.
Everybody needs to stop, take a breath, realize there are other people out there, and half the time they're just dumb or emotional. There are not that many people that are just outright evil.
No, evil. Even the evil is such a the world isn't black and white, and being evil is such it's based on perspective. Like one person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. That kind of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's it has people are recognizing it more, and they're not rewarding that behavior or following that behavior, and they can identify it. I think it is starting to be like that more now, because it's toxic, and it makes people afraid to express themselves. But from what I've seen and what I'm hoping for, it's on the cusp of realizing that this needs to stop, and I think it's getting to that point where it might be starting to go that way, and I hope so. I hope I'm not just being a naive, idiot. But
no, it's you're right. I think you're right. It's one of those things where, well, we'll see. I was going to say the internet will save us all, because by people communicating, you start to realize where the issue is and bridge those gaps. But hey, we've got net neutrality to go and kill that.
God damn it.
Oh. That makes me so...
Well, there's still... I don't know. I don't think that's going to stop people from communicating. It's just going to...
It frustrates me. It just frustrates me.
Yeah, well, you've definitely gone into, why this thing as far as businesses go and stuff like that. But as far as stopping people from communicating, I don't think it's going to put that to a halt.
Well, no, it won't. It won't. And I'm being overly dramatic. I'm just angry.
No, it's definitely a thing to be angry about, because it's like they talk about internet. When they call it internet freedom, that's such a backwards turn of phrasing, because yes, it's net neutrality is restrictions and regulations. But it's for the benefit of our freedom, of the consumer's freedom.
Yeah,
and
it's not like the big networks aren't making enough fucking money.
No. Oh, they're
I wouldn't
little orphan children right now. Oh god. Oh, the poor mean consumers are expecting them to jump through hoops for them, and without paying their due. Fuck.
I really wouldn't mind that much if the level of reliability for so many network services wasn't awful. If we could
go into it's basically it's not so much a monopoly to where it's because monopolies are illegal, but it's close enough to that to where it might be.
Yeah, it really gets close to crossing that line. It's a fucking mess. I don't know what else to say besides that. I don't know.
It's stupid. There you go. It's stupid.
Well, we've got about a half an hour left before I officially have my closing time, and I've done about as much as I can do on this right now. You thinking about putting in a game and chilling out for the rest of the night?
Well, that is actually why I'm mentioning it. Should I throw on a game and get through the rest of the evening, or should I break out my Dremel tool and try and do a hard mod to some of those fans?
If you want to, you have everything out right now. But the thing is, if you feel like you need to chill, and just unwind a little bit, I think that would probably be the best idea, because you're not going to be around here 2 more nights from what it sounds like, so might as well get what gaming time you can in, huh?
Yeah. Tomorrow is unclear what's going to happen.
It sounds like you're going to be hanging out with your friend, though.
No, actually, I have another friend who I'm hoping to spend some time with and kick some ideas around. But I don't know if that's going to happen exactly.
Alright, well, yeah, why don't you just plug in a game and chill? And just, get some weekend games on. Since you're not sure how the rest of the weekend's going to play out.
Now we need to figure out what to do with some of these boxes and shit. Let me see here. I guess for now, I am gonna just throw some of this shit in the corner and throw some of it in the garbage and kill the stream for a little bit so I can
you want me to stick around on call, or do you think you're going to want to end it?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to kill the stream while I get everything rearranged, and we can keep chatting, and it'll pop back up shortly here, probably with more Android Assault.
Alright.
I was having some good fun with that.
There you guys go. We're going to be right back after these messages.
Yeah. Hope everybody had fun. I'm sorry it got a little bit quiet towards the end. Quiet as far as the chat.
Ranty. That's what happened. We got a little ranty with our. But I think it's it's good to talk about it and put it out there because.
And it is. I feel it's important to sounds silly, but I feel it's important to keep bringing this stuff up, and this message of, like, for anybody who's a Doctor Who fan, it's like, one of the big points he's been trying to make recently in the last season. I don't know how much. Just like, be kind, be merciful. Like, let's just try to fucking get along, dude.
Let's be friends.
And it really is a a thing that people get hurt and they shy away from it. So I feel it's a point that needs to be made, and people need to be reminded of from time to time. So.
Well, there's that saying, that the squeaky wheel gets the grease, and
yeah.
Neutrality is the grease we want.
Yes.
Please.
Anyway, I hope everybody who was watching enjoyed it. Hope it didn't get too boring towards the end, and be back in like 5 minutes with Assault Android Cactus.